I was working at Baltimore Spice, and we had a young nigga that worked there. I think he was 18 at the time, big youngin. My man Mo. Yo, you got all these grown ass men, right? I think at that time I was 28. You got all these grown ass men there, and Mo was probably the youngest guy there, right?
Right.
So every time you turn around, his ignorant ass was getting schooled on some shit, right? Because he's still immature, nigga. You 18, you still immature, right?
Right.
And you got everybody from people in their late 20s to their 50s that was working there. What's up, Biddy? What's up, Sean?
What up? What up? What up? What up? What up?
So yeah, when you say goofiness, right, it's adults.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all men on the floor. It's all men on the floor. So if you say goofy shit on any given fucking topic, be it about work or something else, it's gonna be some older motherfucker that know more about that shit that's gonna say something to you. Hey, yo, no. So one day, this nigga is on top of the mixer tier, right? He's working on a smaller mixer, so it only requires one person to work on that mixer. I'm working on the larger mixer, so it's three of us over there, right? So, so I forget what it was that the forklift driver was getting in his ass about. But earlier that day, the oldest dude that was on the floor, Mr. Arthur, got in his ass about something. And then our supervisor, Gerald, got in his ass about something. And then one of the dudes that formulates the ingredients over there, I forget the dude's name. He was cool ass older dude, forget his name. Former Marine too. He got in his ass about some shit out there. So I guess when the forklift was getting in his ass about some shit, it was just too much. It was destroyed on the canvas back. And this nigga, this what happens when you grow unhinged and you hurt yourself. He's dumping. That's what it was. He's dumping red pepper into the smaller thing. Now, bro, I've talked about this on the show before. Red pepper is the devil's dandruff. This shit. I know when people eating their food, I like my food hot. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand when it comes in this rawest, most powdered, broken down form, how deadly this shit is to your skin. This shit will burn the shit out of you, right? So the way he was stacking the empty bags in the trash was too high. You can't do that with red pepper because you're not going to get all the shit out the bag. So it's gonna still be some in there, and if you put it in the dumpster that's on top of the tier too high, when the forklift driver picks the shit up to carry it off the tier, some of that shit gonna come down and it's gonna get on him. You know what I'm saying? So after getting basically told not to do that shit for the umpteenth fucking time, after already been told all this other shit from the start of the shift on, this nigga grabs the last red pepper bags that he has in his hand. And instead of trying to mash them down in there, he's making these balls and doing all this shit. And while he's doing that, he said, tired of motherfuckers telling me shit. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you tired of? So he immediately regretted that tantrum and shit because, bruh, you have the bags in your hand. You're shaking them up. That dust is going to collect around you. And when it did, the scream this nigga let out.
Come on.
Bruh, it don't take but a grain of red pepper to get in your eye. Shut you down. It will shut you down. And that's what happened to him. He got shut down. He's lying down on the because like I said, it's like a scaffold, right? A metal scaffold. And because the mixer's set up high, it's a metal scaffold and shit and a platform up there. He's laying down on the platform. Yo, my eyes. So the niggas had to run up there with one of them eye wash things from the eye wash station and shit. He put it in his eye and escort his big ass down off the tier. I was like, A hard head make a sore ass. You know what I'm saying? A hard head make a sore ass.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, the moral of the story here is, yo, sometimes you gotta sometimes it's in your best interest to listen what motherfuckers is trying to tell you. And it doesn't matter if it's the first time they told you or the 15th time they told you.
Absolutely.
It maybe consider you could be dead ass wrong. And that shit can hurt you. That shit hurts you.
Nigga.
No, that shit was so fucking funny. I remember just looking over there at him as he shook them bags. Like, really? That's what you're doing? We doing that now. Okay. All right, big guy.
He knew what he was doing.
Oh, apparently. He must have knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy. So where we at? It's 11 what? 11:08. I think that's plenty. That's enough time for us to go in and knock out this.
Might as well.
Yeah, let's knock out this intro. me.
Oh, nigga. God.
Welcome everybody to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SBJ.
You.
And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. How is everyone doing? And welcome once again to another rousing edition of Black Culture Geeks Saturday morning cartoon block. The name of the podcast is Bittersweet. I don't know what's up, free thinker. I don't know what this nigga has. What up? Or the meaning behind that title right there. I don't know. That nigga could have went and eat some dark chocolate. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But whatever the case is, we are glad you're here to join us, and particularly with me, you can find out at the same time I find out.
But so first, I want to go back to a conversation that we were just having before we went live. We've touched on this the last two podcasts, and just like I've done before, there was a time where I was like, "Oh, I'm about to make content about this," and then I realized, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." So it comes here because it's much easier to get it out here than to actually do a whole video.
I agree with that. And but before speaking of that thing, let me just put this out here right now because I want it on public record on the Black, specifically on this show because of the album we put out about the January 6th thing. You know, I just want to say this now for the record. Things are being said, have been being said for the past month and a half, 2 months. That is setting the primer for another accusation of a rigged election. This is what happened last time. The summer before the actual election, certain words, phrases, accusations were being put out there to prime a certain segment of the population to already start to envision the idea that something's going to be stolen. I'm saying this here now so that when we go off, when the shit happens, there is like an origin story to this. It's like, yo, we told you once again about the shit that happens. It's not necessarily about what happens on that day. Shit that makes that day possible happened long before that day even came.
Yep.
And it's willful. It's willful and it's
gotta plant the seeds.
Come on, bro. Like,
gotta plant the seeds, and ain't no way around that.
Plant the seeds, and then you water the flower, and that's exactly what the fuck is going down right now. Now we can't say for certainty that a similar event will take place this next time, but I'm putting this out here now. right now, timestamp it. Motherfuckers are trying their damnedest to frame and start the narrative of something being stolen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Claim. So, slightly related, well, not even slightly related to the election.
Yes.
This, like I said, we talked about this on the last 2 episodes. This weird ass argument coming from the, I don't even know what to call them because
I don't know what to call them either.
Yeah, like because I don't want any unnecessary shots sent towards the ones that are arguing in good faith.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'll just say the bad faith Palestinian abolitionists. So there's one in particular. This woman was one of the figures that I kept seeing, like people
repost.
Yeah, and all of the stuff that I was seeing, of course, because this is how the internet and social media works, people are only going to be clipping the part that is relevant to what they're talking about.
That's how it works, bro.
That's how that works. I will always look at you like a dumbass when your first attempt at a mea culpa is to express that the clip was taken out of context. No shit. That's how that works. You know that's how that works, and you knew that's how that worked before you put the full clip out.
Absolutely.
So that's like, can we take that off the list of things?
No,
they
won't. They won't.
So, of course, she does a video, and a part of her video is, I was taken out of context. You don't fully understand. And in funny enough, the caption said, if you have no intentional attempting to understand, don't watch this. That's a good way to get people to listen to you.
So not only is that a horrible thing, that no one's gonna listen to that. Like no one's gonna.
How that works. If anybody was going to watch it or was not going to watch it, that's what's still gonna happen.
Exactly.
That caption did not change.
That caption did nothing to change.
No, absolutely. What up, Frank? So I'm like, all right,
Big Frank. Big fool.
How I got to that was somebody, it wasn't on my For You page, somebody had stitched a part of it. So I'm like, all right. Like I said, because I know that that's a thing, that people will only take a part of a clip, I almost always, if I'm interested enough, I'll go back to the source and look for things around that clip to see if there's something that may have potentially been. Let me be clear. There are a good portion of the time you don't actually gain anything from it's doing that.
A lot of times you do that. It's exactly what the clip.
It's exactly what you inferred.
What you inferred from the clip, right?
So I look at the video. There were a couple things that she addressed in that video that I had never seen before, but I've imagined she was legitimate in attempting to clear those up.
Yeah.
Right? But those things were about herself.
Of course.
So I mean, I ain't mad at that part, because if you got some type of voice and people are saying you are something that you are not, it behooves you to explain.
Yeah.
It was people saying she was European and all these other types of things. She's like, no, I'm absolutely not a European. I was a refugee and such and this. I'm like, cool.
Like a lot of other refugees.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Nobody that I know, again, I ain't been deep into this conversation.
Right.
But nobody that I had seen in any of these stitches, any of these short clips or anything like that, nobody is saying that the cause that you guys are fighting for is an unworthy cause.
Well,
that is not the point that we are making. No. That's not the point we're making.
And I will say, at least nobody who sympathizes
with
people. Nobody sympathizes with people.
Nobody that you feel like you can now say, stop, keep Palestine. None of those people are saying that your cause is an unworthy cause. Right. Not a single one of us. The issue comes in where she got to a point in the video where she says, and it's a lot of people on here that are saying that I'm not from the United States and I've never been to the United States, so I don't understand what's going on. I do understand what's going on. I said, oh, God, let's hear it. And this is what came out of her mouth.
That was very current centric, but okay.
That is hilarious. And it's so funny. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I don't want any time we have these type of situations, I don't want any potential idea or thought that I am misrepresenting.
Imagine, no, somebody said something to me the other day about this very thing, that I think it's in the realm of possibility that all this is a psyop to get the people on that side fighting amongst each other. These are literally the people that you have your best shot at convincing, because they already have a predisposition to feel sympathy for what's happening. And now you're going at them, and then for you to try to go at the lowest people on the totem pole, which is Black folks, as far as power level here in this country, that motherfuckers who have yet to be able to get reparations, have yet to be able to get an apology, much less anything else, right, for anything that took place, and got a bunch of half measures 50-something years ago, right? You're going at them because you always expect it to be us.
Yep.
That have to go and put the cape on and do all of this shit, yo. It's always us, bro.
All right, I found it. Let's go through this part of her video.
Okay.
Saw that, and I've been seeing the entire online discourse from the liberal community, and especially the liberal African American community, advocating for Kamala and washing all her crimes away, calling her things like girl boss, and especially there was this one creator that I initially wanted to stitch, but I decided against it because I don't want.
All right, real quick. This is part one of you establishing that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because African Americans, when we use terms like girl boss, there's a very specific meaning behind that, and you don't understand because you don't have information. You have no roots in this situation. Exactly. You ain't got no experience. You ain't got no deal. Anyway.
I hate to be directed towards a Black woman ever. So initially I wanted to stitch her, but I decided against it because she went from supporting Palestine to calling Kamala Harris things like elegant for interrupting protesters, and basically just like a lot of the online.
All right, real quick. What does the word protest mean?
What does it mean?
Yes, the word protest.
Well, doesn't it mean to go against something?
Yeah, and generally to interrupt, to shake up, to you know. So this might be, call it semantics if you want, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your gripe that you just gave in that statement was that Kamala Harris was interrupted, and she interrupted the people who were interrupting her.
Okay, so man, so yeah.
Like
I have no ill will to anybody that interrupted Kamala. I think that should happen at all these political.
Absolutely, yep, 100%.
But
however, it's her job.
She gets to talk back,
right?
It's part of the back and forth. She does get the talk back. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like whatever. Anyway, continuing.
Community, the African American online community, defending Kamala Harris and washing all her crimes away simply because of her skin color. which I can understand a lot. I generally can understand a lot. I can understand somebody picking one person over the other and voting for them. I can understand a lot, genuinely. But what I will never understand is somebody washing someone's crimes away simply because of their skin color. And that's what I was trying to say. I have been seeing nothing online but people criticizing and calling everyone anti-Black for simply standing against Kamala Harris. That's what I was trying to say, and I was in such a horrible place. And again, English is not my first language, so I was not able to jump between topics as much as I wanted. Which leads me to the next thing.
All right, so I'll give her absolutely English isn't her first language, so it is difficult sometimes for her to try to express things that she may have never had to express before,
or maybe to decipher syntax.
Yes,
with a language that's not her native language.
Yes, because she says she understands how law and order and blah 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 works, but again, I go back to the idea in this country. Third party is not a thing.
No.
It's simply not. So in an election year, regardless of your intention,
right,
the impact of you standing against one of the candidates means that you're helping out the other candidate.
It's the impact.
It's the impact of it. Your intentions can be as great as you want them to be. No matter. The impact is what matters.
Right.
So, again, I don't know if she's ever had a civilized conversation with anybody to tell her this part, because I would imagine she hasn't. I
imagine it's been a bunch of people hurling accusations, insults.
Yeah.
It's the common discourse you find on social media, which is why there are times I give people grace when they're coming from a position of pain or a position of just feeling disenfranchised. It can feel like shit when it seems like it's the entire world fucking you over. Yep. And no one is listening to your point of view on that. I certainly understand it. But what I can say, though, is that that's at least not the majority of what's happening in this case.
Oh,
I'm saying it's not happening.
Absolutely.
I'm saying it's not the majority of this case. It's just that people are prioritizing their stability.
Yeah.
You want them to help. They've been helping. They've been out there doing that. But
also, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
You can always shut the fuck up because you can't listen when you're talking.
Right.
That's the whole point of this. The entire point of this part that she's trying to address is people saying that she doesn't know what she's talking about.
And that's because she's not listening, too.
It's because you're not listening. Anyway, so this next part.
I address the African American community more specifically than anyone. I do understand the African American community is just 13%. 13% of the entire population. However,
you're putting the weight of this on us.
This is a big however. 30% of Army personnel are of African American descent.
And that is the point. And
why is that?
That is the point that I was going to make this goddamn video on. You did nothing but prove that what everybody is saying about you is correct.
Yes.
You don't understand what the fuck is going on over here. What has been going on over here for the past few 100 years.
Yes.
You don't understand. That is the point that we've been trying to express to you, and you still fail to attempt to understand. Because her evidence
inroads into understanding.
Right. Because her evidence that she gave, and I'm not going to keep playing the video, her evidence that she gave as to why, as to her feelings on it, are that she has been in contact with a few African Americans whose family had been in the military, and they tell her that their families that have been in the military tell them don't join the military. So that's her way of feeling like, oh, clearly some of them understand that they shouldn't join the military. Why don't the rest of you? Okay. So clearly I don't have to explain this on here, but I will anyway. But I'll give it the old college try anyway, because again, it's not y'all understand. Y'all already know
the old HBCU.
the vast majority of people understanding my voice right now will already understand this, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Yeah,
for shigs, I guess. And she uses the word. Oh, I wish I didn't get rid of it. I got rid of it. I'm not going back to find it again. She uses the word that gives her the gateway to all of the context that she would need. She says, you make up 13% of the population, but you make up 30% of the armed forces. This is a disproportionate representation. You are right there.
You are right there. You are right there. The thing that kept you from going over the finish line into the right answer was because you don't really understand what's happening over here with the black community. You don't understand.
What they say, wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster.
Yo, that's a Nigerian statement, yo. That's a Nigerian quote, yo. Wisdom is chasing you.
Here's the thing.
You're faster.
Disproportionate. That is the entire point. We have been disproportionately discriminated against. We have been disproportionately held back from certain things.
Lack
we have
of
been
access.
Disproportionately punished for things. We have been disproportionately accused of things. And people have been conditioned in this country, because how did this country start? War.
Yeah.
War is how this country started. It's at the bedrock of this country.
Yeah.
So we've been conditioned to want, I ain't gonna use the word want, but we've been conditioned to believe that joining the armed forces is the thing to do, because there are monetary benefits directly and indirectly that will help us get out of the problems that were
because our disproportionate disenfranchisement.
Right. So that is why that happens. That I do not personally, this is not me saying it doesn't happen.
Yeah, right.
I do not personally know a single African-American person that has enlisted into the armed forces because they simply wanted to, or because they felt like they were doing their duty for their country. No, I don't know a single one that I've talked to about this.
I don't either.
Not a single one.
And by the way, the military stuff runs all throughout my family, throughout my family, and each and every one of uncles, little cousins, all that other shit.
Nigga,
Tell you, oh no, this was a come up.
Right.
It was a come up. Like I could,
grandfather, uncle,
get money to go to school. I could,
Chip Fab, Marcus, hell, models I've worked with, legitimately, all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, money.
Yeah. Oh, it's money. No,
money.
Listen, it's hard out here after you get out of high school.
Yeah.
I didn't get accepted into a college.
I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in college. I had a baby on the way, and the jobs wasn't doing what they were supposed to do.
To be clear about that too, there are a lot of parental units who push the kid into that because they don't have no other prospects. Maybe you learn how to do some shit, blah blah blah, and have a job, whatever. Not only that, there's something else you don't seem to realize. There was a huge marketing drive to get people in my community, really the United States, period, but specifically my community, to join. Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. So when you don't understand the parameters, you don't understand the zeitgeist of this place over here, and you see it from over there, I'm not saying you can't learn some things that are absolutely true from a distance, but you can't possibly hope to learn everything. This is the reason why I don't make super declarative statements about things that take place over there, about things that happens on the ground, because I know there's a bunch of minutia I am not privy to. Correct. I know the history that's recorded. I know the witnesses.
Again, that is why we haven't talked about it on here at any
time. Exactly. That's why, because at a certain point, the way you are held accountable for the things you don't know is if you don't know them. Don't speak on them like you're some sort of an expert. Don't spread misinformation. Don't you know what I'm saying? Like, or at the very least, make some caveats in the beginnings and ending of your statement to say what you feel like. This is what I've observed. This is what I picked up from what I've observed. I could be wrong. It is simple as that. And you don't see us doing that. But what you guys would do, and I understand that you are in a desperate situation. You have family members that are mollywops. I understand it. But because of that, you must understand that you are not necessarily in the most clear-headed frame of mind to discuss our situation with us, right? You don't necessarily, you're from a distance. And on top of that, you have some trauma happening right now. You are not in a position to then analyze my little 13% of the population over this motherfucker, right? Like that on almost every metric is falling down, except for, of course, that's why when I see you guys talking that crazy shit about black women, I be laughing because they holding us up. I don't know what the fuck you motherfuckers talk about. Like, we supposed to be elevating, motherfucker. How y'all do that? Oh, all right, bet. We're supposed to be on that shit. But that's besides the point. The reality is my community has been getting dumped on for almost everything, right? Since pimping. These niggas got to fuck up over here. For you to then put this disproportionate amount of blame and expectation on 13% of the population who can't get reparations, who can't even get motherfuckers to change certain laws about police immunity and all that other shit. These are things that are happening right here. And all the protesting, all the petitioning politicians hasn't been able to change, but so much about that shit. We got fucking cameras on them. Who fucking rah? That's it. We got cameras on cops. That's what we got. We got maybe a one here or one here that was actually convicted of some shit. Wow. Right? And we've been fighting and fussing about that shit for over a century. And we still, so your expectation of us is overblown.
A little bit. And what I said to Tim before we start hit live, you can't force empathy. That's not how that works. Forced empathy is oppression. That's what that is. You cannot force empathy. Empathy has to come from someone who actually wants to do it. That's how that works. There is no way around that. So you cannot, number one, that, but number two, anybody who sees someone who's supposedly helping them accomplish something, and then something happens they don't like, and they now tell that person to stop helping.
That's crazy.
You're arguing in bad faith. And which one is it? You're hurting your cause.
This is the other thing too. This is about the ignorance of what was already done. So for the past, I don't know how many months, these colleges around the country have been beset on all sides by the iniquity of the wicked. Oh, I'm going off on my Pulp Fiction fantasy. You know? These colleges have been on fire with student protesters, and amongst them also people that weren't students, but they're out there. They were out there protesting for months in these little tent towns. And then when the police got sick of that shit, when the system got sick of it and said, hey, that's enough of that, they sent the cops down in there with billy clubs, tasers, and fucking mace and dogs, and got motherfuckers the fuck up out of there and put some dirt on their name when they did it. We're going to ignore all of that And look at the protests. Look at the racial makeup of the protesters, right? It was almost anybody you could think of that live in this country, right? There was a representative of their ethnic makeup in these protests, right? Yeah. They did all of that against who too? Think about it. This is a Democratic administration in office. They did all of that. And now it's the country's business. It's the country's business. And these people have a stake in it because they live here.
The facts.
And they have experience from the stuff they read in history, but also grandparents, great uncles, great aunts, all of that. That this is important. That this is how we get things done here, even if it's a small amount.
Yeah.
That crawl forward is better than that crawl backwards.
Facts.
And you're trying to tell them that, yeah, I hear all that, but
yeah. And the last thing that I'll say on this is this idea of circular thought. So your idea is that you're going to attack Democrats, but the reason that you don't show up in the numbers that you do for the Democrats, for the Republicans, is because you're afraid of them because they want to kill you.
Yeah, I heard that one too. I heard that.
That square don't circle.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't circle because one, your folks are already being killed. That's one.
Right.
Two, this is the part of this. This is the part of this where there needs to be a certain amount of maturity amongst the American population. Say what I say. Republicans are horrible on this, especially on this topic. This topic right here. But it's only about that much of a difference on what both of these motherfuckers are actually going to do about what's happening over there. It's time to keep it real.
Yes.
It's time to keep it real. It's about that much of a difference between what either one of them are going to do on that.
Right.
Those of us that live here, we know this.
Yes. At least we should.
The ones of us that have been paying attention and are politically astute enough to understand this, we know this. Mm-hmm. So what a lot of these people do is we got to play the margins. This is marginally better than this. So I'm going to go with this because a crawl forward is better than a crawl backwards.
Thanks.
And it's unfortunate that we have to live that way, but that's also a condition of, what's that shit? Life.
I just had that conversation yesterday with somebody. Like, why is all the unfair stuff happening to me? I said, it's not just you. I promise you. I promise you. It is. No, it's not. Other people are good at lying.
Yeah.
People are good at saving face.
Right.
I promise you it's not just you.
It's not just you. It's not.
It's life.
When life be lifing, the first thing it shows you is there are no perfect outcomes. That is the first thing it shows you. When you are a kid, because of the type of content that you might be watching, there's a fantasy element to how you view life.
Yeah.
You first become an adult because you become an adult in layers. It's not magically I'm an adult. No. It's in layers. Your first step to become an adult is when you are made to understand there are no perfect outcomes. And you can learn that as a kid. Like, damn. Right. Now, let that work inside your brain for a second. It was kind of cool, but you ain't get all the shit you wanted right there, did you?
Not even close.
And if you dwell too much on the stuff that you didn't get, it kind of ruins the stuff that you did get. It
starts to feel not so cool.
So you start to cope. And this is the other thing, because we love saying this shit online. We love the new slang. The new slang is everything. That's cope. That's copium. To live is to cope.
Thanks.
I am coping daily. The reason my hands aren't around certain throats,
right,
throttling them to their eyes pop out of their skull, is because of copium.
Facts.
That's life, especially if you're a part of the masses who don't have this superpower of monetary resource. You engage in copium more than anybody else that's on a higher tier because you don't have the resources to make things even close to perfection. It's not even an option for you. It's a white whale. You're chasing a white whale. It'll never happen. So we all deal with cope. That's it. Cope. And what I'm trying to, what SBJ is trying to, what all these other people are trying to say to the ones arguing, I feel like in bad faith especially, right? We don't have perfect options over here.
Nope.
And neither do you. Neither does anybody. We're trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. That's what we're doing. And if my bed's on fire, I ain't gonna be able to sleep and get a good enough rest to get up in the morning to help you throw water on your bed.
Right.
Not this shit over here is shaky as fuck. And I blame a lot of the misunderstanding about that on the way America tries to present to the world. America tries to present to the world, oh, we straight. We straight, y'all. China City on the hill. We got it going on. We know what we're doing over here. To live over here is to know that that's bullshit.
Yeah.
To live over here is to know that. If you've never lived over here, you can at least assume it because you've seen some of the negative impacts of American imperialism over there, right? So you should at least assume it's not. We are all sniffing copious amounts of copium. And we will continue to do so for as long as we live. And so will you.
Yeah. One of the things that people tend to do is they conflate things that are subjective with things that are objective.
Yes.
And one of the ways that they do it is not understanding that there are levels to everything. Like your baseline and somebody else's baseline are not going to be the same.
Yeah, facts.
So
facts.
A thing that you might be able to deal with might be hell to somebody else.
Facts.
So like there are absolutely, because other places in the world where there are things that we couldn't possibly deal with on a daily basis. 1,000%, without question.
Facts.
Objectively,
I know that's the case because even here in the United States, there's differential experience of life here.
Yes.
I can almost guarantee you that a lot of the people that I have met as an adult that didn't go through or live in those same type of environments absolutely would not be able to deal with living in the West Side of Baltimore, the East Side of Baltimore, South. No.
Objectively, those things would be worse, right? But that only matters when you start looking at people as objects instead of subjects.
Yeah.
We're human beings. We're subjects. We can only deal with what we are capable of dealing with. That's just how that works.
Exactly.
So you want to tell me that our entire being is focused on and grows from the ability to adapt, right? Adaptability is subjective.
Yeah.
You can you adapt to not just negative things.
Right.
You adapt to positive things as well. That's how that works.
Shit is environmental, B.
Yeah, bro.
All this shit's environmental.
And not the environmental isn't just nature.
Nah.
It's
conditions.
It's condition. It is the government in which you live in. It is all of those things. It is
the level of education,
the level of education, the access you have to other humans. All of these things go into that. So like, there's no reason to do this weird comparison thing where you're talking about how such and such got it worse and such and such. There's no reason to do that because again, it's all subjective, and we are all subjects.
This is actually the point about people doing, not letting one group do the heavy lifting. The reason I say that is because it is definitely incumbent upon those who have experienced bad things, really bad things, to keep the mindset of, hey, I may have went through this, but there's people that are going through a lot worse than I've gone through,
right?
But it's also incumbent upon the people who have not experienced these bad things to not
don't stoke that flame.
Hop into the scene, and all of a sudden want to tell these people that have been through this shit everything about their experience. Yo, shut the fuck up.
Nah, that's not how that's supposed to work.
That's what I mean by don't let one group do all of the heavy lifting. And now that's what happens here is people that ain't never experienced it. They may have read about it or saw a documentary, some shit like that. They then walk into a space and start trying to tell the people that live that shit, let me give these people a piece of my mind. Shut the fuck up, yo. You don't know anything about this other than the shit. There are certain intangibles and tangibles you are not privy to be able to speak as an authoritarian on this shit. You're not that, and you got to calm the fuck down.
But you're 30% of the military. Just don't be.
Right. Well, yo, it's so absurd. It's so absurd. But then too, this is what I mean by not letting one side do all the heavy lifting. If the people that came over here and bombed my shit look like you, it doesn't matter why y'all are in the military. What matters is my shit is bombed. I lost folks. So believe me, all of these things swirl around in my mind.
Yeah, see, we understand.
Right.
It's just that there is, if you try to be objective, there's a way out.
Right.
It's not a situation where you don't get condemned in good faith simply for not knowing.
Facts.
You get condemned when people are explaining to you that you don't know and you're doubling down, expressing how knowledgeable you are about this thing you have no experience with.
When you run around here being the Duke of Double Down, this is what happens. This is what happens.
That's the difference. Not knowing is fine. Niggas don't know a lot.
Nigga, what I don't know can fill a fucking airplane.
Niggas don't know a lot. That's fine. The issues come in with the things around not knowing.
Yeah.
Being proud of not knowing, being unaware of how much you don't know. Yeah. These are where the issues come in.
These are where the issues pop up. And
being belligerent about what you don't know.
I would suggest that's her. That's that woman's problem right there. Yeah. Is that you are belligerent about the things that you don't know, and then you sit here insisting to people who do know that you do, and then you display how you
literally don't.
You display how much you don't understand about why 30% of the military is African American. You have no clue why that is. You think that was because in these families, basically everyone's G.I. Joe and shit. What's up, Gary? Like everybody's
you think everybody's like, you know what I want to be when I grow up? No, I promise you it don't work that way. But hold up. I wanted to point that out real quick because you mentioned it earlier, but you didn't say any specifics. That's one of the specific examples is G.I. Joe of how we were programmed from a child.
Marketed. Right.
That's one of those specific examples. Bro. Yeah.
Yo, they were literally selling us army men.
There's no green army men.
Green army men Yeah, bro, like from the time I remember I had a whole shit ton of these motherfuckers, right? We play at war, we embrace war. This is a warlike country that claims to be super peaceful, and you got all these motherfuckers in jail for shooting motherfuckers. Like this is what this place is. And again, it's like anything else. Is violence bad? It's conditional. It depends on what the violence is being used for. So when they frame military service in a certain type of way, you're going to have a segment of people that are going to see it as viable. This is viable. And if you come from a circumstance where you don't have access to money or funding for education in the same way that other people do, and you say to yourself, damn, I could learn training here, I could do this. If I just do a few years here, this could set me up to be able to do something else when I get out. And these are the things that's available to you. What the fuck are you? People are going to take those things. And just so you know, the disenfranchised in this country, a lot of them are the darker ones over here, right? The darker ones over here. So, of course, these folks are going to see the military as a viable option. You can't use that to say, because again, like I said, just look at the ethnic makeup of the people that was protesting for the last few months about this very issue. You see people from all walks of life in those protests. So it's people that care, but they are giving you what they can give you. That's it. They're giving you, and then to act like that none of that matters because now they trying to handle the business of their country, it's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. It's unhinged. But I get why that's unhinged. I get why you're unhinged. You're going through pain. Pain unhinges motherfuckers. Right. I get that. But again, allow me to say, if no one else has said this to you, don't you ever tell me what the fuck I'm gonna talk about. Don't you ever tell me what I'm supposed to feel bad for, not supposed to feel. I'm not trying to hear that shit. You don't get to determine what I say about when I see some shit that make me go, what the fuck? That's wrong. I'm going to say that shit regardless, because here's the kept of all of this stuff. If I allowed you to tell me that if I do this, then don't say this anymore, that means I was never down with it in the first place.
Facts.
If I all of a sudden fall back and be like, well, damn, well then fuck it, y'all just get blown up then. I don't feel that way, so I'm not going to say that. And I'm not going to act like that. Don't sit up here and tell me what the fuck. Nah.
At the same time, don't be mad when people stop talking about it.
Because here's the thing. There's variations.
Yeah. There's
a long line of levels of support and reasons why people do it. So a lot of these numbers, you're going to find amongst those people that this is the thing to protest about. This is the thing that they're not that committed to it.
Right.
So when you say shit like that, you lose numbers from those people. The people that are sincere, there's nothing you're going to be able to say that's going to keep them from speaking up and saying, yo, they're killing kids over there. We ain't with that. There's nothing, because they're actually sincere. But you have to understand that all the numbers count. So if you start peeling off support from those who are, this is just the catch of the day cause, you start peeling off support, you start peeling off the effectiveness of that.
Yeah.
Just so you know. So you're saying that out of emotion.
Right. Look, and it's storytelling 101. If morals were all that mattered,
right,
none of the stories that we know and love will be able to go on forever, because once the good guy went up against the bad guy, it would be over.
Yeah, facts.
But that's not how things work.
No.
It's not that simple.
The bad guy wins a lot in real life.
A lot.
A lot. A lot.
A whole bunch.
Nigga, somebody somewhere, and a lot, sometimes, depending on, it's a spectrum, sometimes who the bad guy is, it just depends. There are people right now who look at me, who knew me, and had whatever experience they had with me, and saying, God damn, the bad guy won.
Right.
There are literally people that think that way now. I can't tell them not to think that. Right. Because if I look back at the experience I have with them, from their perspective, I was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Bad guy wins a lot. A lot.
Like a whole lot. All right. So I have other things, but those other things pretty much that's funny. All right, hold up. I do have this one other thing that I don't know how I want to talk about over here because it's potentially controversial. But I do want to get my thoughts out about it. And I do want to find out what you think about it. And I'm saying everything with an upward inflection at the end because I'm still not super sure that I want to do it.
Prioritize your future endeavors. I tell motherfuckers
all right. So listen, I am in a committed relationship that I don't plan on getting out of. So as far as what the topic of this is concerned, I don't think it's going to jeopardize anything in the future because I'm pretty sure it is something that it's a more nuanced thing. But y'all know me, I do the nuanced thing.
People don't, but people
don't. Right. So
that pregnant pause, yo. That pregnant pause.
What happened is I saw this story, and the first I saw of it, it's not even story is not the right word. It ain't a bunch of famous people involved. It's some moderately famous people. Yeah, like
it's a regular weed though.
No, the situation, no, nigga. So I saw. I don't even think I saved the first thing I saw. It was something to the effect of, all right, I'm going to tell you the general feeling of the first thing I saw, and then I'll explain it a little bit, and you tell me if we should continue.
Okay.
All right. That's what we're going to do. So I had seen this post. Mm-hmm. And the post had said something to the effect of, it's crazy that you are willing to, and often do, show and send certain pictures and videos to complete strangers, but when somebody that you're involved with has a query about it, you give them the cold shoulder. Now,
wait a minute. So that I understand, the query is about why you sending these?
No.
Okay.
The query is about it being sent to him or not. Yeah. So when I initially saw that, I'm like, because of how it was worded, I'm like, I'm team him. Because what? However, it gets a lot hairier than that. There's way more nuance involved than just.
That's why I don't be so quick to put on your jersey.
Nigga.
Like, I'm not.
And that's why I don't go quick to go ahead and say something and not me. You ain't gonna catch me. You ain't gonna catch me out here. Like, nah, nigga.
Nah.
So this story involves. That's funny, actually, GA. This story involves a sex worker. This story involves a sex worker, a person who was about to do a convention, and a person who apparently was a one of those wildlife quote unquote experts. Should I continue?
Let me find out David Attenborough got it out there.
No, nigga. Again, they're not celebrities.
Oh, okay.
Should we?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So I'm seeing all this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? What? I need to know, because I was seeing tweet after tweet about it, but no real details in these tweets.
Right.
So I'm looking. That's when I finally found out that the girl in question was a sex worker, OnlyFans girl. And I'm like, okay, now I have enough information to where I can probably search for this.
Right.
So, let me see if I can find the one. Okay. So, hold on. Is that? All right.
Yes.
So, when I found out who was actually involved, I'm like, oh, this is hilarious, because I just saw something about this nigga completely unrelated, had nothing to do with this situation, but it was people calling him a fraud because he was going back and forth with someone about octopus and how many arms they have and how many legs they have and how many tentacles they have. And this person was actually studied like academically on this, and they were telling him like, no, you're wrong, such and such. And he was like, yeah, that's what I was saying, because some people say this and some people this, and the person was like, no, you are wrong. Such blah 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 blah. He's like, yeah, because such, and they were, no.
I've literally, what he's doing, I've literally seen that done with evolution too. I've literally seen, yo, you don't understand this shit, and you sitting there. Some people say, no. You don't get what's happening here. So seeing his name again, I was like, all right, let me inquire deeper. So he was being called the lowest level of what he was being called was a harasser. Oh,
sexual harassment.
Oh,
right. The highest is sexual assault. Now, we know how the fucking internet works. Mm-hmm. The sexual assault stuff was coming from third parties.
Right.
And if you've been listening to the show for the last couple of weeks, the one thing that I want you to take away from this is third party doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So sexual assault part was coming from third parties. The woman in question did use the word harass. She did use the word harass. So what ended up happening is he made a thread explaining everything that happened, including screenshots.
Oh.
He got his receipts.
Oh.
All right, let's get into it. So he says, okay, I'm making this thread because the narrative has been twisted so far from what it should be, and people are being attacked in my name undeserving. I have already apologized and will do so as many times as I need to, but I can't allow for other people to be undeservingly attacked in my name. Now, let me say, before we even start, and I have to start explaining stuff.
Mm-hmm. Captain's got to explain stuff.
This should not have made it to the timeline.
Yeah.
This should not have made it to the timeline. Yeah. There's no reason that this should have been made public. Okay. So, it says, let me start by saying, I still believe in believing the victim first. There are far too many instances where that doesn't happen when it should. This thread is to help set the record straight on what actually happened. Also, my page always has been and always will be a safe space for sex workers, and this thread is not a green light to go bother them. This thread is to set the record straight. I owned what I did and apologized, and it is still being brought up after months have passed.
That's how the internet works.
Right. Me and, should I even say her name?
Is her name there?
Yes, her name's there. Jeez, I don't know if it's her real name.
I don't think you need to say it.
Okay.
Call someone else.
I'll just say her. So for the remainder of me reading his thread, I will say her, and her will refer to the woman that is accusing him of harassment. So me and her had been talking romantically every day from early January to early March. We have never met in person, so it was just over the phone. The Goal was to get to know each other more and to eventually see each other. I liked her and she said she liked me, and we both felt the same. On several occasions, when she would take a while to respond, she would send me a picture or pictures without me asking. These would be anything from selfies to not safe for work pictures. Everything is scratched out to protect her privacy and her name. So it's not her real name. Everything is scratched out to protect her privacy and her name. She didn't give me permission to post the picture, so I am covering her up. Screenshot. He says to her, the neighborhood behind my apartments be having cops and ambulances go back there all the time. Apparently, a lot of time passes. It's not important what he said, but he says something. Time passes. She says, excuse the late reply. And then there's a picture of her. I assume she's not completely naked.
You don't know that.
Well, I see clothing. I see remnants of clothing, but clearly he scratched it out. So there's something there that is not for everyone's eyes.
Right.
Okay. Again, he didn't ask for this picture. She sent him this picture, and then she said, I'm working. Again, she's a sex worker. She's an OnlyFans girl. Mm-hmm. So he says, not gonna lie, I've been having a shitty day today. So his words, from what we see, didn't even say anything. He sent, the little heart.
They didn't even respond. Yeah.
He sent the heart eyes thing, but he didn't it's not like he was like, oh, you're so sexy, blah, 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 blah. Send me more. No, it wasn't that type of thing. So he said, after a month of us talking, the conversations began getting shorter. And despite me asking her several times if she wanted to end things, she continued to say no and that she was a bad texter and better on the phone. I personally was not okay with how the conversation was going, so I tried to end things. She was not happy with that. So after talking about it, we agreed to try and continue to make things work. This is what this screenshot says. I hate feeling like it's one-sided. I know you said you would work on texting better, but there hasn't been any changes. I've been through this before, and I cannot let myself go through it again. I do appreciate you, and I hope we can still be cool. She says, for starters, this is not a conversation you have through text. I do like you, and I've said that multiple times. It's just you ask me the same questions every single day, and when you do call, most of the time we talk for a few, and you call me super late. I wish we could have at least made it to seeing each other in person. I'm not upset, but if you were going to get my hopes up and dip at the slightest inconvenience, knowing that we're long distance, you should have just left me alone. He says, you're right, but I know I'm not going to be free to talk on the phone until late for most of this week. I know what you have said, but I'm going based off your actions because even on the phone, I have to carry most of the conversation. I wanted and still do want us to get to see each other, but I know shit's got to change on both ends. Okay. He said things did not improve, and I found myself regularly having to ask her a number of questions in an attempt to get to know her better. It was this way both over the phone and through text. While I should have just ended things, I allowed myself to be frustrated and stubborn and push through. We get to early March, and one day she says that she had been making videos. I asked if she was comfortable with sharing them with me, and she said she probably never would. I had never subscribed to her OnlyFans, so I only knew what video she posted on the timeline. I did not know exactly what I was asking for. So he puts screenshots. She says, sorry for the late text. I've been working, making videos. He says, it's okay. How's that been? And can I see those, or are you not comfortable with that yet? She said, to be quite honest with you, I'll probably never send you those. Okay. He said, oh, why not? He said, because no. He says, laughing my ass off, is no other reason? She says, no is a reason all by itself. He says, I understand that. That's why I asked. But okay, I understand. So would you take others that you don't post for me? She says, no. He says, just no for that too, or is there more behind that? She says, no is the reason is no. He says, okay, I get that. The only reason I'm asking is because I know there's usually reasons that cause no to be the answer, not all the time, but a lot of the time. Right. She says, you don't think because you don't understand because you keep asking other questions. He says, I'm not trying to pry. I really was wondering. You said no. I'm not going to push for it anymore, but I don't think it's an issue to try to understand why. She said, I'm sure you weren't, but I mean the no was kind of self-explanatory. He says, it wasn't to me. You always give really short answers, and I have to ask more to get more info. I thought this was another one of those instances. She says, you asked why when you kind of could have just left it at no. He says, again, to you it was, but I got you. So he also posts a screenshot of her tweeting. He tweeted, okay, so he replied to someone. He said, we were texting. I asked her a question. She said no. I didn't respect that and leave it at no. I asked her why, and even when she said no should be enough of an answer, I still pushed for reasoning.
Right.
She says, and to be very clear, it wasn't just a question you asked me for. It was a masturbation video, and I said no. You proceeded to ask me why and then doubled down after my response and was argumentative about it and gaslit me and ghosted me until today. Now, real quick, that was a lot we just went through. First of all, if you feel like you're in a situation where you're heading towards a dead end, it's probably best to jump out.
I agree.
It's probably best to jump out. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing in the world.
No, but you're saying,
but it's probably best to jump out once you start really feeling. Once you feel like you're heading towards a dead end, and you express that you feel like you're feeling toward a dead end, and nothing changes, it's probably time for you to jump out because we would have never been here.
Yeah,
we would have never got to this point.
True.
If he'd have just jumped out when he really started feeling like it was. True. All right. Second, he showed the screenshots of the text. He didn't know what the video was of. So for her to say on the tweet in public for everyone to see that he asked me for a masturbation video, technically it's true.
No, it's true.
If that's what the video was.
Right.
Well, I don't know that it's true. I don't know what the video was.
Okay. That's true.
Technically it could be true, but he didn't know that. You never told him what the type of video was. He never asked you what the video was.
Right.
He took the assumption, which, every time you shouldn't probably, assume, but
probably
we're humans. We're humans and we do it.
Sure.
You had been sending him content already.
Which is the other thing.
So you could understand why a person could get confused when you're supposed to be talking in a way that you're supposed to be getting closer, going towards dating each other and all this other type stuff. And you express to him that after you have been sending him unsolicited pictures of yourself, right, and you say to him, oh, I'll probably never send you a video like this, I can understand why he could be like, but why? What happened? Like, cool, you don't want to send the video. That's fine. But what's the reason? Like, where did this come from? I can understand the confusion. Well, so he says the only reasons I gave any pushback were because, one, I believe getting to know why your potential partner does or doesn't do or like certain things is important in getting to know them. And two, because she had sent media to me without me asking in the past, and I was trying to figure out what caused the change. We continued going back and forth, not seeing eye to eye. After a while, I gave up. I apologized, and that was the end of the conversation. The last time we spoke was March 10th. He puts the screenshot. He says to her, are you done working for today? So this was at the end of that same conversation. This isn't a different conversation, same conversation. Say, all right, are you done working for today? She said, again, you could have left it at no and not asked anything else. But yes, I am done working. He said, I know, but I didn't. I never do. You always give short answers, so I'm always ask for more until something changes. But okay, cool. You got anything else planned or you just chilling? She says, regarding anything sexual, whether it's a video or anything else, why are you asking why? Shit like that, you leave it at no, which I thought was common sense. He says, And that's why I said I wasn't going to press you about it anymore. Because, yeah, no means no. But I don't think it's an issue to simply ask why not, especially if it's someone you're getting to know. I've sent you, I don't know what that says. He blocks it out. So I don't know what he's saying he sent her before, but if you can use your imagination, you could probably come to the same conclusion that I'm coming to. He said, I've sent you blank before, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But we never talked about you sending me anything before today. You can tell me no to anything, and I'm going to ask why, simply to get to know you more and to understand why you say no to different things. So almost 2 months pass. We are still following each other. She is still liking my post on Instagram, but there's no communication between us. While we did not end on a great note, I did not think anything of it. He says, I was made aware of her bringing the situation to the public after about 2 months of no contact. After being made aware, I reached out to her privately and apologized. I waited about 1.5 hours and got no response while she continued to talk about the situation on the timeline. It was also clear to me that despite her saying she hated the drama, she intended, that word don't belong there, sir. I'm going to just say decided because the word he put there don't work. She decided to keep the situation public by retweeting her own tweets from 18 plus hours ago. And the screenshot is of her. She says, my week started off rough. I expressed that something made uncomfortable sexually, but you didn't.
Right.
Just for the person to turn around and gaslight me and argue with me about my boundaries. I went into the situation with hope and good intentions. That she posted that in March. Last week, she quote tweeted it and says the words, just gonna resurface this tweet and let y'all put two and two together.
So here's the thing, right? I was trying to get a handle on the story because I'm trying to find.
Well, hold on, wait. This you might because he's still going off.
Okay.
Because of that, I decided to publicly apologize. He had made the situation public, so I felt like making my apology as loud as the disrespect may have come across. I apologized, and that's when the narrative began being twisted. Number one, me and her never met. I have never assaulted anyone and would never. Number two, yes, I should have dropped it at no, and I'm sorry for that, but I'm not out here harassing women. I reassured her that I would never ask for videos again and only pushed to understand her thought process because I felt that was a part of getting to know someone romantically. I did not know what exactly I was asking for. I had only seen what she had posted on the timeline and sent me personally. Here's another screenshot. Okay, he says, it's a tweet of him saying, I didn't know what kind of video it was when I asked. But either way, you're right. I shouldn't have kept pushing for an answer, and I shouldn't have stopped communicating. I am sorry. She responds, I mean, I can't see all of it because it cuts off. But her response to that is, what I will not allow you to do is play stupid. You decided to do this publicly so we can. I'm a sex worker. I do OnlyFans, and you knew this. So if you ask me what I'm doing, I tell you I'm working, and you're like, let me send me a what? I hate people. And you say, send me a video. What the fuck of a video would you be talking about? That's not how that works, man. Okay, yeah, that's not how that works. But that's what she said. And then he says, lastly, this other person was one of the first people to seriously get on me about this situation. I appreciate her being a friend and holding me accountable. Now, clearly I don't know everything, but from the information presented, and I went to go look at her page to see her side of it, and she has her tweets protected now. So I couldn't get to it. Right. So I can't say any of the information, other than what we have.
Right.
So then I'm like, dang, I'm kind of conflicted because once I found out she was a sex worker and I saw some of the things other people that were involved were saying, I was on her side because the idea that they were saying is, and I don't completely disagree with the sentiment of this, but the words used I vehemently disagree with. Okay. People were saying basically, if you're dealing with somebody and you also are a sex worker, and all these random strangers are getting to see this part of you, it should I say what they said or what I agree with? I'll say what they said. If these other strangers are getting to see this part of you, and your significant other is not seeing any of you, that's weird. What are you doing? And I'm like, there's nuance there. Consent is still consent. No, it's still no.
It's not only is it still consent, but this is the part that I was having hard time wrestling with. The idea that if you are seeing her romantically, she might not want to mix the two.
Yes.
Because there's an emotional space she gets in with you that she doesn't want to connect to this.
Absolutely.
So that's
and that's the type of thing I was thinking before I started, before I found his thread. Right. I was like, yeah, no, she can, she's not entitled to give him just because that's what she do for work. Like, this is what she do for work. I always related it's work to me. So like I always related to everything else. Like most times people that if you have a job that is a job that you wouldn't do if you were rich.
Exactly.
You tend to not want to do that job when you're not on the clock.
And maybe she does.
Yeah.
The OnlyFans, she only does.
Right.
It's her money. That's not what she would want to do.
And that's how I was thinking about it at first until I read this thread. So then, after he finishes his thread, I'm scrolling Twitter. I'm thinking I'm done with the situation. I'm thinking I would never see anything else about this because he already did his big move and her page is protected. So I'm never going to see anything else about this except for the shit that random people say that don't matter.
He did his finishing move. He already did.
Yeah, like he already did his finishing move. As far as I'm concerned, this is over.
Right.
Then I see this random tweet from a random person that I've never seen before. Hadi Khan is a no from me. The disregard to sex workers and their autonomy is disgusting. And if you're taking that man's side in this, please unfollow or block me. If a woman says no, you are not owed an explanation, no matter how many times you ask. Now, because of how Twitter works, I knew this had to be about that situation. Of course There's no way.
Of course it did.
So I was like, oh, wait. Gina was wasn't telling me. I forget how I heard her say it, but she was saying that there was a black woman who was making a convention for black women. Is this her? So I went and Googled that. So the person that she's talking about is another third party, which is the person who initially got on boy ass about what he did.
Right.
So I find her. And now I stumble across another rabbit hole.
Oh,
where blah 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 blah. All right. She says, I couldn't find the beginning of this. This is the furthest back that I could find because I think some of it involves the girl's Twitter, and again, I can't get to her page, so there's no way I can find the beginning of this. But she says the woman who is doing the convention says, if y'all are sending threats to her, y'all are losing the plot.
Yo, no, tell me that's not what's happening.
Oh, of course. Come on now,
niggas.
Damn well. She said, if y'all sending threats to her, y'all are losing the plot. And it's why they were not dropped initially, because we knew people would turn this into an anti-sex worker thing and have a higher level of vitriol. Please do not do that. This is only happening because other people, myself, are getting dragged into it, and we can't not clear the air.
Right.
So someone says, and yet you did it anyway. You knew they'd send death threats to her and did it anyway. Bitch. The screenshots prove nothing except that y'all are sick in the head for defending his predatory ass. All right. Let's see. God damn.
Well, before you continue, I'm going to say this. Fellas, please hear me. Because and me and SBJ actually were talking about this earlier this week. Y'all not being raised right. And the people that are professing to be putting out content specifically to help you are lying and grifting. So let Uncle Toon please inform you that when you see a situation regarding some romantic entanglement with a woman, the constant push and prod about certain things, don't do it because you don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to, because if you're uncomfortable with not having an answer for that, leave it alone. I mean, her. Walk away, because this is getting into a situation where you too could be online being called predator and all of that because you just didn't say. She said, I don't want to tell you why. But for you, this is weird. So go with that mind.
Well, here's the thing. Not only just weird, right? I feel like we have to take into account the human element of this, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's one thing to not get what you want, right? Mm-hmm. But I feel like in this case, that's not what happened. He didn't really not get what he wanted because he didn't even know what the video was.
That's true.
I feel like looking at it from his perspective, it feels like he had an idea of what he wanted this to be. Mm-hmm. And that idea, his better judgment kind of told him it wouldn't end up being that. But against his better judgment, he still wanted it to be that thing because her words that she used gave him hope that it would still potentially be this thing that he wanted it to be.
That's the issue.
Hope. Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah, it's hope. To quote the great revolutionary Huey Griffin, hope is irrational.
Listen, to quote Dante's Inferno, abandon hope, all ye who into the air. Like, stop. Yo, listen, the emotional thing, I get the attachment. I was where you were at some point with people. I'm telling you, bro, that in today's time, your shit will be screenshotted and turned into another story. Even if you didn't mean that, and I'm not saying he did or he didn't. I don't
know that.
I'm just saying, fellas, a little restraint, right? A little restraint. Some of that stoic shit works. Be a bit more stoic, because some of that shit y'all doing, y'all haven't been taught the proper way to deal with certain emotions. You got on the one side the old school way of, you don't have emotions, you're a guy, and then you have on the other, and no, we want to know everything. I'm telling you, people are capping. They don't want to know everything you're feeling. That's this. They don't. They say they do, but they don't, and they'll penalize you for it. If you, there will be certain penalties for force feeding them all your emotion. There will be a reckoning for that. Like I'm sitting here doing this whole time when you're telling me what's going on. I'm seeing moments like Colossus tried to tell Deadpool. There are one or two moments, right? I'm seeing moments where this could have,
yeah. There were many exit points.
There were exit points that you chose not to take.
Yeah.
Damn. Now got him out here looking like this. Like,
well, but now this third party person is being attacked.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
She's his friend.
Yeah.
And again, he's the first person to hold him accountable.
Right. and now they on her ass.
Right. So, there's just several tweets from her about this whole thing. Y'all want me to snap so bad, and then when I do, she's mad. I swear to God, some of y'all need to go fucking touch grass.
No bullshit, yo.
She said, I swear to God, some of y'all need to go fucking touch grass. Someone says you only get that hype when you're arguing with a complete idiot. She says, no, genuinely, it will enrage you. Said the way people will aggressively miss the point and then harass you all goddamn day. Go play with your Go play with your pussy and leave me alone, you miserable fucking guys.
Yo.
Somebody said, all right, this is one of the things that I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're close. Your sentiment is, I ain't even gonna say that close. Your sentiment is in the same football field, but you just took a weird ass turn. Someone said a sex worker that won't send a man she likes any of the sex work is wild. He shouldn't have had to ask once, let alone twice, when you putting it on the internet for every nigga except her own, apparently. Shaking my head. No, nigga. What? And then somebody responded to that and said, y'all really don't see sex workers as people.
That's what
you'll get to have all the fucked up weird boundaries you want around us about how you want us to play cheaters and catch any of our clients that are in relationships. God forbid we have actual boundaries of our own.
Yo, listen.
So go ahead.
She said a word right there because at the end of the day, a lot of that does boil down to they don't see the sex workers as human or they don't respect them. Either way, it's a thing. Like, it's this weird little thing, especially here in the States. Because all you Puritans kill me. All you motherfuckers, y'all kill me. Porn has routinely been $1 billion a year industry. That means a lot of you niggas is engaging.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you same niggas who are engaging in that are shaming the people in it. You're consuming this shit. Y'all have this weird relationship with it.
Yeah, you're part of the whole thing. Like, you are a part of it. Without you, this wouldn't exist.
But then I gotta hear your Quaker ass when you on your shit, when you tighten the buckles on your shoes up.
When you got post nut clarity,
but
you want to be. So somebody else says, I just don't understand why you still have screenshots that may or may not of a confrontation that may or may not have been about you from years ago. Why is this still up? And she says, it was in my text messages because those don't get deleted and it was easy to find. You're more concerned about me clearing up a blatant lie and attack on my character is goofy. Okay. Another one. Come on, move. So it's funny. Her timeline is hilarious because, well, not for her, because she is both simultaneously attempting to defend her friend because of the way that the OnlyFans girl handled this, defend herself because people are getting personal with her, and defend sex workers because people are talking shit about sex workers. So, like, she's in this weird ass space.
Yeah, it's see, bro. This is one of the reasons why when I'm on Twitter a lot of the times, you very rarely see me engage with people because it is a black hole where light, nothing escapes that light, and you ass can't get dragged. So there are very rare times where I see something. I make a quick comment.
Right,
but I don't, because now look at the amount of time and investment, right? That's been put into this conversation, and it hit a third person who wasn't even initially a part of the initial primer. Like, yo, it is wild.
She, again, to be clear, she was holding him accountable for the part of it that was his fault.
Right.
That was her initial entrance.
She did that. Right.
She says very easy for y'all to let shit go and not address when it's not you that's under attack. That's facts. She says Okay, somebody say I saw the drama last night and she been arguing with folks on her timeline for a decade now and over silly shit every single time. Sister, please. She responds and she says, girl, why should I remain silent when someone directly attacks my brand and my character? And why are so many of you who are not fans of me commenting on me? I'm being falsely accused of remaining friends with an abuser when I defended them from false sexual assault allegations and had my brand directly threatened. But sure, it's over some silly shit. Y'all have so much animosity for me and I do not bother y'all.
But this does beg the question, though. While I don't see any of this as silly shit,
right?
When you go to her profile page, do she be arguing about silly shit?
I don't know. Now, here's the thing. Somebody else said what's really crazy is that it seems like she's actually right this time. However, that's lost in everybody's dislike for her. And she responds, I'm normally right when people are coming for me, and it's often lost in people's dislike of me. I don't go hard for things I can't back myself up on. I'm supposed to sit back and let people lie on my name. I know y'all don't like me for whatever fucking reason, but straight up lying on me and unfucking provoked is insane behavior. So, she says, I do hate when y'all wait till someone is being piled on to say what you want to say about them, and especially when it's not about the topic at hand.
Bro.
Because y'all are cowards and weird.
Bro, I can't disagree with that. I've seen that happen. I've seen real life examples of that too. I was putting foot to asses like I was supposed to in a certain situation. The motherfucker asked for it. Had been asking for it all day.
Hey.
I gave him I whooped his ass like a government mule and shit. And when I had him down, beating the crap out of him, somebody who had a beef with him prior decided they wanted to come over and stomp him. And I immediately got the fuck up. So I'm not jumping this man. You don't try this on my dime. You know what I'm saying? Like there's plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, nah, I don't got nothing to do with what y'all got going. Yeah,
I'm not jumping this nigga. No.
So the girl replies back to her and says, I actually don't dislike you at all. You've just been sitting on my timeline since 2015 arguing with folks damn near every day, and that's what I'm pointing out. So she replies, she says, girl, this is weird as hell to bring up like we weren't once mutuals and I supported your business. I was attacked for defending someone against false allegations and you thought it was a good time to sub me arguing about, quote, silly shit. How does that make sense? What have I done to have my name in your mouth when we ain't been mutuals in years?
Yikes. Yo, tell her that make my name like a mint and keep it out of your mouth. That's what you do all the
that's time. Funny. That's funny. Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Somebody else says, that's why I ain't see nothing because Shorty been muted. And she says, you absolutely a weirdo for this because we were legit cool in real life and I've been there when you needed me. Like, holy fuck, are y'all okay? Why are you subbing me?
Yo, that's wild.
Yo.
Wild.
And that's then wild. I think to finish this off, she says, a couple things. Okay. She says, all of you at one point have either been mutuals or have had my number. So what is your goal talking shit on the timeline when I haven't done shit to you and we haven't interacted in years? Y'all are genuinely weird as fuck. Using me arguing against someone trying to actually assassinate my character and brand as a, quote, gotcha moment. But yeah, oh brother, how do y'all not hear yourselves?
She's learning.
Liking my shit on TikTok and talking shit about me on the timeline. We are in our 30s and y'all still acting like this. Yo, people really don't understand how nice I am for real, laughing my ass off, because if I ever decided to go nuclear.
Listen, she learned a very important lesson about people. She learned the lesson. She's saying, this is what she said, because we don't know none of the
yeah, right.
That she has been there for these people in real life, like whatever. They had a relationship, and now they're acting like she's just some random online that they always That's
weird, bro.
That's some weird shit. But I got to tell you, that is also some very, as weird as it is.
Oh, it's life.
It's like, because I have been in situations where it's motherfuckers that you in real life, like real life, These are your peoples. These are your peoples in real life, to the point where y'all refer to each other almost like family and shit. And then you find out later that somebody got your name in their mouth saying something negative, and they don't check them when they right there. I'm here to tell you right now, there ain't a motherfucker I consider close to me that you gonna be able to talk shit about. Even if you got a criticism about it, say it with some respect. Come to me talking crazy about that person, then I'ma check you. If you don't do that for people that's supposed to be your whatever,
no, ain't no way.
Not really that.
Not really.
Not really that. Y'all not really that.
No
And I've seen that in real. I've seen that in real life. Shit happen to me. You got to learn. Yo, people can be weirdos, bro.
Yeah. The only time that you can say something to me about one of my peoples is if they want to get peoples too.
That's it. That's it. We all got to be.
That's it.
Right.
Outside of that, nah.
If you outside of the mob, if you outside of the crew, the mi familia, if you're outside of that, and then you come to me and you say something about SBJ, that you start talking crazy about SBJ to me, nigga, I'ma check you.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna check
ain't no way around it.
In the worst, most disrespectful way. The most to the point where even if you ain't about that, you're gonna want to hit me.
Yo,
you don't want to. Nah, we not doing that. We not doing that.
All right, so I feel like I have to clean this up. No means no, right? Let's be very clear about this.
This is why I said, brothers, please listen to me.
You know what's funny about this is the other day I saw a tweet go viral. A woman saying something to the effect of, because I didn't save it, something to the effect of, it's crazy how guys will approach you nowadays, and once you say no the first time, they just go away. Why don't y'all try anymore?
Stop
now.
Ma'am, you want to know why? You really want to know why? Ma'am.
It's like, bro, ma'am, I don't know where you've been living.
Yeah.
Clearly, you're just getting to social media.
Yeah.
Because there's no other explanation. There's no explanation. There's no way. But anyway, so to be clear on my stance on this is me speaking. This is SBJ. No means no. It does. No, it is.
Right.
Also, if you lead someone to believe that you are developing something with them, and that there is something that even tangentially is related to the thing y'all are developing, I feel like, matter of fact, let me put it on a brighter level. We act like we don't owe our fellow man things way too often.
Agree.
I'm not talking about something that's going to put you out. No. I'm saying that in a society, there are certain things that you owe your next citizen, right?
Right.
In any relationship that you are in, the things that you owe the person you're in a relationship with change, depending on what the relationship is.
It's a fact.
There are things you owe. For somebody that I'm supposed to be getting to know, leading towards dating, I told them I had issues thinking like maybe this isn't working. And they're like, no, I want to keep doing this, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And you tell me you will never send me anything, any of these videos where you've been sending me stuff already. I'm probably going to ask you why you feel that way. I'm probably going to. And I do not think there's anything wrong with that.
And no, it's nothing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with asking that question. But if the person says, "I don't want to tell you," now the ball's in your court to say, "No, but you should want to." And the fact that you don't want to,
that kind of means that we can't do this.
Right?
Yeah.
Because at a certain point, it is what it is. We talked about this earlier about life be life, and it just happens the way it is.
Yep.
Brothers, take responsibility for your
shit,
because no one's going to have sympathy for you when that shit gets crazy.
Of what I can only describe right now, because I don't have another term, is self-respect. If you had more of that, you wouldn't be in this gray area. You wouldn't be in this position.
100% agree.
If when you said, I don't think this is working out, and then she say, we're gonna work on it, and then nothing changed. If you'd have dipped in, you wouldn't have been in this situation.
That's what I mean.
If you asked her for that video and she said no, I'll probably never send you this, and you asked her why, and she's like, I don't feel like I need to explain.
Okay.
If you would have left in, you probably wouldn't be in this position.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like,
so nah,
shit, it's not. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's not fair, but it's not fair. Listen, bro, I get that, but the one thing
it's
about
not. But whatever,
life is not fair. Life
right.
is not fair. Life don't be fair. Yo, I watched this motherfucking David Attenborough nature documentary the other day, and this goddamn possum, I think, big as shit though, had a bunch of babies on his back. This motherfucking cat, wildcat, comes over there looking like this looks. Oh, this is a value pack. Right. Like I'm about to get it in. The commentary I saw to somebody who clipped it up and put that shit on X or YouTube was one of the places. People was like, "Oh, I would have ran down there and I would have helped."
Yeah.
Listen to me. I know what you're thinking. It's a mother and she got the kids with him and blah blah blah. Life ain't fair.
Yeah, that's not your place.
Mind your fucking business. And here's the other thing. You think you're being fair to her, but you're being unfair to that cat, that wildcat. It got to eat.
Right.
And they might got babies too. They got to eat.
Right.
This has nothing to do with you.
Nothing.
Nothing to do with you. Walk the fuck away. So what I'm saying to say that is, bro, life don't be fair. That's just not. The idea of that is not. We try to make it fair within our sphere of influence. Absolutely. Yeah. Because this is part of what we are as a species. So we're going to do that. But you have to know you can't control all of that shit. The moment she said no to a point where I will never show you that, and that bothers you because it tells you something else about y'all actual connection, dip. Dip.
So in my roundup so far, notice I did not mention the sex worker. I did not mention the term sex worker.
Nope.
That is because it's independent of what she does for work.
Right.
It doesn't matter who. I feel the exact same way, regardless if she was if she was not a sex worker and it was she had been sending him pictures and he asked and she told him she was making a video and he asked for it. If she wasn't a sex worker, everything I just said, I feel what you're saying.
It was the exact same thing.
Nothing to do with whether she was like,
people are weird though, bro. Yo, this is what I'm talking about right here, right? About decisions that brothers need to make to understand that, yo, people are going to hold you extra accountable for certain shit.
Yeah, ain't no way.
GA says, I had a girl tell me she wanted me to take it.
Nope.
What? Nope. I'm out. Right. Now, some of you goofies, right? Some of you goofies would have been like, oh yeah, that's part of the such. Not thinking about the other part of this shit. When that pendulum swings a certain way, your ass is grass and they're gonna smoke it.
Without question. Ain't no way in the world. Nigga.
Nah.
What?
Nah. I'm out. Nah. No. Fuck you think you talk? First of all,
I've lost my place.
Yo, the first phrase that comes out my mouth is, who the fuck you think you talking to?
Right.
What you trying to do? Nah, I'm
ain't
out.
No way. Nah, ain't no way. All right.
Nah.
So now yeah.
So let me
you sick ass motherfucker.
I've been called that many times. Not always for the same reason. So last week, my wife got sick. It was like a cold or some shit. She felt bad, but it wasn't, this thing that was mashing her down. Inevitably, I'm going to get sick because she's sick. That's how it's going to be. The difference was, though, when I got it, oh, nah, nigga, nah. I had symptoms she didn't have because she had got a flu vaccination, and I didn't last time. And that's exactly what the fuck this was. She ain't had no fever and none of that shit. I had a fever. Shaking. Some of the most uncomfortable nights happened during this week. I'm talking you sweating, but you also shaking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking in no way can you get comfortable at all.
Mm-hmm.
See, with regular stuff, regular sickness, if it makes it so I can't sleep, I can at least get behind my desk and do some work there.
Right.
I couldn't even do that because that was uncomfortable too. The light coming from the computer to my face was like a 2-piece no biscuit. Big thing. You know what I'm saying? Laying down was miserable.
Nigga.
So now sitting and laying, what would you have? Standing. Oh no, standing's ass too. Fucked up in the game.
Mm.
And because of that, there were things that I needed to get done this week, or should I say, wanted to get done this week that I did not at all.
Right.
At all. And that fucking sucks. But sometimes, man, when your body tells you to sit your ass down.
Oh, no, that's it.
You got to sit your ass down. Now, unfortunately, when I sat down and said stand up, they went stood up and said lay down. And then when I lay down and said sit up, it was on that shit, right? It was on that. But it was bad. There were things happening that I needed to address and could not address. As a matter of fact, let me see something. Oh yeah, I got something I got to do after the show is over that I didn't get a chance to get done during the week because the nigga was sick. All right. One of the things that I wanted to do was to thank all the people that are streaming Blood of Zolokar.
Yeah.
Like, y'all was on one with that on Spotify. Y'all was on one with that. During the course of looking at all these numbers, I then went and I took a look at my Apple numbers because I must have did this a few months ago in one of my ADHD stupors, right? Where I got that kind of control over the artist profile of my Apple iTunes thing. And I saw the level of streams in there. It's nice, but it's not to the same extent as the Spotify thing. I think because I don't fuck with Apple like that, so I don't be sharing any Apple links. Like it's one of them type of things, right? But I was supposed to definitely post a thank you to the people for streaming that the way they did, because it's one of these things where you never know. And I had, my wife had the conversation about something she posted for her Fluff You business. And one of the things she had heavily produced, put together and all of that, and she put it up there and got an area whisper, right? Then she puts a random picture up there of one of the clients' pet or whatever, and it got mad. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things with the social media, this attention economy, you never really know what's going to, like, you guessing a lot of this shit. Yeah, okay, this is a trending topic. This might do well, but at the end of the day, you're still just like kind of guessing that motherfuckers want to hear that from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they would be interested in the topic, but do they want to hear about that from you, right? So that's part of it. Let me tell you about my backyard adventures. So first, the groundhogs around here are disrespectful as fuck, because initially all they were doing, and this is bad enough, by the way, they were coming up on the porch and eating my mother-in-law's kale because she has that little garden up there. That's what they were doing initially. Well, it turns out they've upped the ante, because now these groundhogs are coming up there eating peppers.
Yikes!
Give me this shit. By the way, let me try your peppers, right? So my opinion, what's going to wind up happening is those tomatoes, they're not going to stand a chance Motherfuckers are eventually going to work their way around to those tomatoes as well, and they're going to be gone. Now, I don't know what to tell her what to do of how to keep those groundhog off of her veggies. I do know that because we no longer have Zora or T'Challa here, the groundhog is basically essentially doing a Steppenwolf. No protectors here. No Siamese. No ornery little female kitty. This porch will fall like all the rest. That's what's happening with that. So our guy came around to cut the front lawn. Looked great. I was supposed to bend cut the backyard. But see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. It was hot for a lot of days. And then it rained. Wasn't cutting that shit then.
Right.
And then the worst thing happened that could have happened. I didn't feel like it. So that grass eventually started to, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? That grass started to grow kind of lengthy and shit.
Right.
And I still didn't want to cut it because I didn't want to. Now, SBJ will tell you, in Maryland, we have been having downright spring-like to fall-like days already. Like, which is crazy. And these are the perfect time for me to cut that grass. And I still didn't want to until 2 days ago. Plus, I was sick, you know, and all that. So 2 days ago, I said, take my monkey ass out here. I started cutting the grass. I got a third of it done. I said, man, I'm not doing this shit. I don't know if that was my ADHD or just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I put the lawnmower back on the charger. I took my ass out and did something else. And then I came back out the next day and cut another third of it.
Hey, listen. You gotta do it how you gotta do it.
You know what I'm saying? And then maybe it's possible at some point today I might go and cut the rest of it, right? Because there ain't really much left and shit. And it's looking weird, but it's the backyard, right? It's not just the front yard. People walk by and go, yo, why is his grass half cut? Nobody's doing that, right?
It's the
they can't see it. They can't see it. So
that's what the kids are doing.
It's the Gumby. It's a new Gumby, new age Gumby. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, that's something that I may or may not do today or tomorrow. The other thing about this week also is, even though I was sick, exactly. Well, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing is, like I said, there was some stuff that I did actually manage to get done before the sickness really, bam. Right.
Before you got down with the sickness?
Before I got down with the sickness, there were certain things that, you know, bam. During the course of all that, though, I started watching some stuff and it irritated me. And we kind of touched on it a bit during this whole thing about y'all young boys y'all got to listen to me for a second. I was you. I know how you feel. I know why you feel that way. The people that are trying to get you to give them engagement are using those feelings of alienation to grift the fuck out of you. They got y'all out here looking crazy right now. Y'all done went and paid a fresh and fit $3,200 or some shit to go on a fucking yacht with supposedly women up there. And the women they were there, but they wasn't interested in none of you motherfuckers. So now there's videos out of y'all dancing amongst yourselves. They got y'all looking wild. They don't give a fuck about you. A lot of the issues they talking about to you, there are better ways to approach that shit.
Right.
It's time for men of good faith, men, to say this to you And I understand why you might not want to listen because you see all these feathers in my damn goatee. Let me tell you something. I know why you feel that way. Because when I was younger, I felt the exact same way. And I'm going to tell you what somebody should have told me then. I'm not the nigga that left your mother and didn't pay your child support.
Nigga.
That ain't me. I know when you see me, you see all this, you think, it might be a mother. I ain't that nigga. Turns out, I took care of mine, paid my child support, and then went and got custody. That's not me. I'm the one telling you straight up, they're playing you for a jackass. Because we live in a time where attention and engagement equals money. It's not just, oh, I want to be popular. No, there's money that comes behind your attention. And that's why they're telling you these things. And they got you out here looking crazy on social media. They got you out here looking crazy. Explain this to me, fellas. If everybody's going gay, it should mean there's more women for you.
Right.
And you're still alone. Let that sink in. Marinate. Problem is you. But you can fix that, though. That's not something that can't be fixed. But it won't be fixed if you keep listening to these fucking chuckleheads running around here acting like they got all kinds of fucking advice for you. They don't. That shit they giving you is lightweight, half measures, mixed with bitterness, playing into your feelings of alienation and rejection. Yeah, why won't they let me? Grow the fuck up. Somebody got to tell you this, because they not. That bullshit they giving you is just that bullshit. They going to make all that money, and they're going to go out there and mess with the worst type of women ever. Right? That's what they're going to do. And they're going to teach, they're going to send you there too. Because that's the only ones you're going to be able to get. Because the attitude they're going to instill in you is going to keep all the good women away from you. They don't want nothing to do with you.
Right.
They don't want nothing to do with your ass. Nothing. Why would they? You sound crazy. Stop listening to these. There's a segment of them that are bitter dudes. We talked about this before on the show as well, right? They had a breakup, really bad breakup. They was told about themselves. They was told about themselves. They didn't like the examination, right? They didn't like how it made them feel. And they're venting. These are some of the smaller creators. They're venting. I ain't even talking about just them. I'm talking about the big guy, the ones y'all look at and respect and follow behind and spend money on their gear and all that shit. They're playing you.
Yep.
And why should you listen to me and not listen to them? Because I'm not trying to sell you shit on that shit.
Nope.
There's that. None of my content that I produce has anything to do with that shit there. I'm telling you what I'm saying. Some of these guys getting jammed up in shit. Human trafficking. All kinds of this other bullshit. Abusing women. They're getting jammed up and caught up in this. Messing with underage girls. They all getting jammed up in this shit. They are not the people you should be fucking listening to. I get it. Your dad may have been an ass. Maybe your uncles were inattentive. Maybe the OGs in your neighborhood are crackheads or meth heads, whatever, right? So you don't got them to listen to. I'm telling you, I don't have shit in the game. There's nothing to gain from me telling you this shit. Nothing. Except for the fact that I would prefer a better society.
Yeah.
You're half of it. That's it. Because my daughter, my nieces and them are all out here, and I don't want them running into y'all as you are now. You suck. But you don't got to stay that way. You're whiny. But you don't have to stay that way. You're fucking entitled. But you don't have to stay that way. Stop listening to these motherfuckers. They're selling you bullshit. And they got you out here looking so crazy. Don't let anybody tell you some leader shit, but they're not trying to uplift. Instead, they're just trying to squash.
Right.
They're not leaders. And what they're trying to turn you into is not a leader as well. Relax, my guy. Get some shit happening on the ball. Read some books. Watch some interesting things. Absorb some stuff so you have something to talk to these women about. Get your shit together. Take a bath. Tie your tennis shoes. Comb your fucking hair.
I don't understand the whole tennis shoes thing. I don't get that one.
I don't get it either. My son was doing that shit for a while. Walk around with shoelaces untied and shit. What's wrong with y'all? Yo, get your shit together. Because once you do, even making the attempt, life gets better. It does. You ugly right now. Your ears don't match your face. You're in that developmental stage, B. It'll all fill in. But in the meantime, get your shit right. Be a quality person first. You ain't a quality person jumping on every fucking thread you can find. Calling women all kinds of shit. You think that's some manly shit? Or being in women's business? You think that's some manly shit? But she wearing so. Keep scrolling. But I don't like when they so. They're not living their life for you.
Mm.
Y'all real crazy. Wipe that crust out your eye and get your shit together. And that's my weekend review. Fuck these niggas.
Oh, okay.
Fuck these niggas.
God dang. That's how you feel?
That's how I feel, bro. I'm sick of seeing it. This what brought it on. I'm watching motherfuckers in trouble again.
Facts.
Oh no. The same suspects, y'all in trouble again.
I want to ask you something. Because I saw somebody tweet this. They said, was it Reagan? Bush, W. They said W passed a law that is going to be the reason that Andrew Tate ends up going to jail, as far as people that are United States citizens have to follow age of consent laws in the state that they're from, I believe, even when they are outside of the country. And I'm like, that seems hard to
It's
a little hard to, yeah, bro.
But see, it's not though if there is an adequate law enforcement presence in that other country where they do have databases and you can call police on it. Like if they have extradition laws,
right.
Your ass can still go down. But see, I never heard of that. If that's so, if that is the thing, you might be a little tougher than I thought. But again, some of the work y'all got to get out of y'all heads. You know, it's just that the whole world's against it.
No.
Nobody gives a fuck. Yo, listen, y'all need to understand this, man, because this is part of this entitled delusion that some of y'all got in your head. Motherfuckers trying to eat, have sex, go to the movies, make money.
Mm-hmm. In that order.
Motherfuckers don't got time to be caring so much that they doing these elaborate multinational plots against whoever it is you like.
Right.
Like, you doing a lot right now rather than just saying, damn, I was wrong about you're on some bullshit. You doing a lot. You can't say that. That's how invested you are in it. But I get it. You don't want to hear that from me because I remind you of the motherfucker who took advantage of your mom and rolled out. Is that what it is? Because the older nigga, all right, he not. He look more like you're in your. So yeah, you gonna listen? Okay, I'm telling you, get your shit together, bro. I'm telling you, a lot of shit they are saying to you is horse shit. Because I've been you, and I came up out of it.
Right.
Because it's possible to do. Without that, do what you do, but when you get my age, come holler at me then. You still saying the same shit you was saying back then when you was fucking 17 or fucking 22. You still saying the same shit. Man, women don't be they don't ever want to support somebody. I can support my woman all the time. Right. I don't know what to tell you. In fact, it's safe to make, and I've said this before, most of the successes I've had in life, period, have been somehow involved a woman, specifically a black woman. So when I hear y'all say that, I'm just going from mom's, grandmother, aunt, significant others, sister, friends. Shout out to Marissa. Shout out to Cindy. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, but you're going through a weird time in your life, and this seems like forever. And this motherfucker that's talking this crazy shit and flexing his muscles to y'all. Not sure why that's happening, but this motherfucker that's doing all of that, he's trying to make you think, no, this is just the way life is. No,
nah, man,
nah. Y'all attracting certain shit to you. That's what you're doing. Stop listening to that motherfucker. Get your shit together. That's all. Nigga, you got enough wax in your ear to make a candle. But you worrying about, nigga, you ain't cleaned your fingernails today. And you worrying about what she wore. You got this imaginary female enemy out there. The ops is trying to do. Nigga, the collar on your shirt is trash. You got stains under your armpits. And your socks have holes in them. And you got the nerve to ask why some woman don't want to sleep with you. Get the fuck out of my face. Go take a shower, sweaty. Fuck out of here.
You'll say, go take a shower, sweaty. That.
I'm trying to help, bro. I'm trying to help because they listen to the wrong people, man. Stop talking to these niggas that got something to gain to get you following behind them. I ain't got nothing to gain for that. I saw with the demographic of people that listen to our music, I saw what that age group is. It's not yours. It's not yours.
Go take a shower, sweaty. I'm gonna use that.
Sweaty ass nigga. Get the fuck out of here, you musty ass. You said something. You said what about women musty? What? What? You gonna scrape that toe cheese and shit and do something with yourself? The fuck? Got them biscuits on the back of your pants. Nigga, no, she ain't sleeping with you. No, she don't even want to talk to you.
No.
Get your shit out of here.
That's hilarious. That is all right.
But later
all right. No.
What was your week like?
Nigga. God damn. Let me. So last week,
no, this cool. We've been start doing the week review at the end. We did that.
No. He talking about the money going for the money.
Yeah.
No, it don't matter. No, it doesn't have to be in that exact
order. It doesn't have to be in that exact order, bro.
It doesn't have to be.
Nah, I'm just saying, get your shit together. That's all.
Yeah. So I somehow in the rigors of doing a live podcast, and whatever the hell else was occupying my mind at the time. We skipped over the week in review last week.
We did. But we was heavy in it though. Like we had a lot.
Yeah. Thanks. So I got a lot. Hold on. So first of all, it's been confirmed that them goddamn lights changed. They goddamn sync. It's different. It wasn't because I was coming out later.
It's been confirmed. It's
been confirmed. But
it's actually confirmed.
It's actually not that big a deal because I've already figured out how to adjust for that.
Okay.
So that's not an issue. It's just change. I don't unannounced change. Yeah, bro. Like
but you're still human. You hate them, but you still want them.
Yeah.
You don't like change like that.
Nah. But anyway, like I said, I figured that out. I adjusted to that. It's all good. Anyway, so I saw somebody getting pulled over for riding down a one-way street. Now, I can't fully express to you how bittersweet. That's funny. I didn't realize that this was in my notes when I made that type. All right. I can't express to you how bittersweet that was. First, fuck the police.
Yeah, put that out there.
And ACAB. And damn, that's funny too, because I was just looking at my distro kid, and apparently ACAB got like 3 million streams or something like that.
Damn.
So, yeah. But anyway, so simultaneously, when people do shit I deem egregious, I feel there should be punishment for it, right?
Yeah.
So to be clear, I don't want people to have police interactions in the same way that I don't want people to die.
No, I agree.
What I want is people not to do the craziest versions of things that increase the chances of these things happening. That's what I want. Don't go out and make it more inevitable that these things are going to happen.
Yeah, these are facts, bro.
Lord knows I've never been a letter of the law guy. I think that everything has context and, of course, nuance. So 2 traffic laws that I believe you shouldn't break are going down a one-way street the wrong way and running red lights, right? But even within those, there are levels. There are different levels of doing those things. Okay. If you're driving and you thought you had more time for the yellow light and you happen to go through it after it turned red, that's vastly different than if you never even saw that yellow light. Once you got within view of the light, it was already red.
Yeah.
And then you decide to go through it. That's completely different.
Yeah. Nah.
I think those people deserve the appropriate punishment. As far as one-way streets, it's one thing to be in a residential grid that you're not familiar with and you happen to turn the wrong way. It's completely different thing to pass lights on a big 2-lane one-way street, knowing you're looking at the back of those lights and continuing to drive on that street.
Right.
That's what I saw. And it just so happened, the craziest thing in the world, there was a patrol car about 2 car lengths behind me. I saw the patrol car first because I see the car and I'm like, all right, what they doing? They seem to be chilling. And I stopped paying him any mind. And then when I redirected my focus, I noticed headlights pointing towards me. Not in the same lane that I'm in, but just I'm on a one-way. Why are there headlights?
Right.
So it just so happened that once the vehicle that was behind me, which was the patrol car, saw the vehicle that was in front of me,
right?
So they just lit it up. It just pulled right into the lane that this person was. How dare you hit me?
Right.
So I don't know what happened to them people, but you shouldn't have put yourself in the position to make it more likely that you would have to have an interaction with the police. What is wrong with you?
But see, again, bro, this is the whole crux of all of it. You got some people out here who feel that because there are situations where you didn't do anything and they still fucked with you, then that means they shouldn't exercise precaution. And you're wrong because we're dealing with percentages. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're just wrong.
It's like on top of increasing the chances that you'll be pulled over, you're increasing the chances that you're going to hurt somebody. Why are you driving up Pratt Street?
Listen, you ain't no revolutionary. Red Street, you ain't no fucking revolutionary because you're about to hit a civilian. You dumbass.
Like, what is going on? Why would you think? And like, I can see if you happen to make a wrong turn, even though this is a big ass street. Like,
this is also Pratt Street.
So Pratt Street for the people that ain't from here. It's what don't they call? I'm trying to get the right word. Technically, it's a highway.
Technically,
it's a highway. It's one of our big main streets in the city.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to have ended up on this street going the wrong way by mistake. Like, it's very difficult to have done this. And then, like I said, I saw them go through at least one intersection.
Crazy.
So anytime you're looking at the back of traffic lights, and only the back of traffic lights.
Bro. How do you not? You ain't see one light in you ain't have one light in your face.
You ain't seen a single green light, and you just going. I'm like, what the fuck? What? And then I happen to see the lights come on behind me. Whoop. I'm like, oh, all right, well,
you got him. He got him. He got him.
All right. Next, me and Chrissy went bowling. Last week. Out of all the last maybe 5 times that I've mentioned bowling on here, it wasn't real. This is my first time going to a professionally oiled lane in the longest time. The reason I did nigga, I'm not about to be the one sliding down the lane. And the reason I deduced that this one is professionally oiled is because they have leagues play there. So on top of that, my ball doesn't behave the same at the other alley that we had been going to. And I found out that one doesn't have leagues. So I'm left to believe that the one that doesn't have leagues officially play there is the one that's not officially oiled the way it's supposed to be. But anyway,
it would stand to reason.
It would stand to reason a little bit. So I'm a curve bowler. A short and simplified explanation of the way that works is that lanes have more oil closer to where the bowlers stand and less to no oil closer to the pins. The oil lets the ball rotate with very little effect on its trajectory. Once the ball hits a dry spot, that's when the friction makes the ball curve. At this other lane, the ball would just not catch. It would just keep going in the same direction. But I was back at a good lane.
Bowling in space?
Nigga. But I was back. No, I have to assume that they just oil the whole lane, like just evenly. Oil the whole, and it's like, bro, that's not okay, fine, whatever. But I was back at a good lane, and my bowling obviously reflected it. I didn't have to get used. Well, I did. I had to get used to my bowl again because it's been a long time since I bowled on a real lane with it. But after the first game, I was like close to returning back to my normal form. Second, third game, I'm above 150 and all that other shit. At the other lanes, I was consistently ending games well below 100. Because here's the thing. I don't like bowling straight. I ain't in nobody league. I don't get paid for this shit. I go bowling for fun. It ain't fun for me to just throw the ball straight down. That's not fun to me.
Throw the ball, nigga.
Nah, nigga. So at the other lane, I would just keep trying to figure out if there was a possible way for me to curve the goddamn ball because...
How'd that work out for you?
Well, having fun is more important than winning to me. So, like, that was more fun than the alternative.
And that's why I don't go bowling.
Yo, what up, Mo?
What up?
So the next thing, it's funny that you joined when I'm about to say this. All right, so I got set up. It's what it was.
How come you ain't see? Look, Niggas lining him up. He ain't hit the phone. He ain't hit.
No, listen, because I counteracted it, but reluctantly. So I told y'all that Gina, co-host of Heard It Through the Grapevine podcast, decided again, this is from last week, that past Sunday evening that she had wanted to start playing a drinking game at 10 p.m. And that almost led to me calling out that Monday. I ended up not calling out. But they tried to get me.
They tried to get him.
Yeah, this past Monday, after the podcast, Chrissy calls me and she like, "Oh, can Gina and Mo come over Thursday?" They had a party to go to.
It's a play date? Like what the fuck?
No, we had to get our hair done and all that type stuff. It's like, can they come over Thursday? They had a party to go to, but after that, they would come over and they was going to spend the night. And I'm like, now the quick among you may be thinking, but that's a work night. You would be right.
It is a work night.
However, Gina was off Friday. Chrissy's job was closed Friday.
And you the only one that had to go
and
to work.
Mo had already had Friday off.
You was the only one.
I was the only person who was actually scheduled to go into work on Friday. Now, I have nothing if not a realist. There was no way this was going to work out well for me. With me being the only person scheduled to work Friday. So I did what any responsible adult would do in that situation.
What was that? What was that? You went to work. Oh man, that's what I'm talking about.
No. I took off in advance.
Oh, damn.
It's not even no reason. Hold up. What did I lie about? Give me one lie. Goddammit. Give me one lie. Oh, okay. No, matter of fact, I know what the lie. I know what she gonna say the lie is. She gonna say the lie is them conspiring against me. All right. But everything that I said was all facts. Right, see? Everything I said was facts, motherfucker. You gonna call me after they together for hours, and she gonna call me like, "Hey,
time to play hooky, nigga."
So, I didn't know.
Time to play hooky, nigga.
They just all happened to be all okay. That's not the point that I'm making. I'm not saying that anybody took off to do this.
He said y'all lined them up. That's what he said.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I got lined up. It happens. So next up, that's all from last week. That's all from last week. So more bittersweet things. This week, I don't know, I got inspired, not inspired, maybe, I guess we'll go with inspired. And I started working on something that was only supposed to have been for my personal brand. But then I started working more on it and then more on it. And then I'm like, hold on. This could be something that can help several of us out with our things that we have planned. That's great. The bitter part of it is I created more work for myself.
And this, good sir, this is the crux of the problem with being a eclectic creator. See, if you just did music, there are things that are within that genre that wouldn't cause you to have to wear several hats. But it's still under the thing of music. Right. You do more than that. Do more than that. And this is also why we are the odd man out with even other creators who only focus on one genre.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? They're not good. They're not going to get it.
All thanks. So that happened. Also, we have a podcast up. Oh, matter of fact, Quincy happened to join at the right time. We have a podcast update, not BCGz, me and Chrissy's podcast. Major update. So initially, for those who don't remember, because
this podcast is a year late,
not almost 10 months. There was an idea for me and Chrissy to start a podcast. Given what was going on in our lives at the time, the release schedule was a complete mystery. We were definitely not doing live. We were going to start with audio only. And the first episode was supposed to come out in April. Well, clearly, this ain't April. So we even took time out of our trip in January to record for it. We also recorded more for it before we moved. Because again, the point was to release the first episode in April. We're 4 months past that and nothing has released. Now, why? Right? So I had concerns about two things. My studio space wasn't right. And I knew it was going to take a little while to get it right. Once I set everything up and realized how off it was, I was like, no, I'm not releasing this shit now because it's going to be a while before we can even get to another. No, I'm not going to start this shit off inconsistent. That's not, that's not what we about to do. So then another thing, our schedules were not even close to solidified with all the changes that we had going on personally. So like the moving together physically, then her new commute, then she got a new job, then us merging our social lives more and all that other shit. All that led to me not being comfortable about the whole thing as far as releasing in April.
Right.
I also had a template and everything for what the episodes would be, but I created that on my own. I wanted her to have more input. So we effectively scrapped my outline and I got her around to creating it. Then I had finally got comfortable enough with the studio space. You know, we put out music. We go stream broken on all streaming platforms. We had a date set that we were going to record. We got into the studio. We are in the studio. I am sitting here. I had the doc open with the template that she had made. I got FL open, ready. I'm getting ready to record. I beg of you one thing, Chrissy. Let me land before you fuss. So, sitting here, we're talking about it. I pull up the outline. I got FL up. I'm getting the mics ready. Chrissy had complaints. Now, nothing like she didn't want to do it or wasn't going to do it. But these complaints were valid. But even after that, expressing those complaints, she insisted we move ahead. No. No. See, after all this time of being a content creator, if there's only one thing I've learned, it's that if you are going to start something, everybody involved has to be full steam ahead into it. And again, she was willing to do it, but it was clear there were things she wanted that we just didn't have in place yet.
Right.
And that's a recipe for disaster. Like you don't start something new that way.
Right.
Like once you get the program down and you get everything on like machine-like precision, then you can quote unquote not be as into it because it does a thing.
Trust me, it's a lot steeper hill to climb to get that shit when you do it the other way, because that's how this show started. That's why we had all kinds of audio issues in the beginning. We had all
nigga.
Y'all, some of y'all might be new to the show that don't know that I used to go to this nigga's house on early Saturday morning and be in that motherfucker recording shit until the sun went down.
Right.
Like we used to be up, like we had a whole different, because we were still trying to figure out the best ways to do shit and the more efficient ways to do shit. So it does make it a lot harder when you don't have that shit narrowed down and nailed down. Yeah.
All facts. So as we were sitting there, started researching. As of this morning, everything that we didn't have that we needed has been ordered.
Okay.
We should be shooting the first episode the week after next, the week after the upcoming week. I can't tell you when the first episode will be out because now I have some light editing to do that I didn't have to do in the beginning. The schedule as of now will be, when it does come out, it will be bi-weekly.
Right.
We haven't decided on a day yet. If it wasn't clear, we're starting out with video. We're not starting with just audio.
Right.
And still not live.
Which is extra work, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Still not live, but maybe we might do some specials at some point or something like that. I don't know. But it was largely pre-recorded.
So are you starting, y'all starting a whole new YouTube channel?
I don't.
Are you doing it
I didn't get that far.
Okay.
I didn't get that far yet. I still have a week and a half before we gotta solidify those decisions.
You know, there are times, right, where I feel like I should not have ultra expanded into numerous channels.
Mm-hmm.
And because the starting over again situation is really trash. And those numbers would probably have served me a lot better had they all been on the one channel.
Honestly, it might go on the multi-world channel. That might be the best bet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still not 100% sure yet.
Right.
So yeah, we like I said, the stuff is on the way. It's been I ordered it this morning. So y'all know how it is when I spend money on something.
It's all right.
Nigga,
this is happening.
She about to be sick of me.
About to be.
Hey, nigga. Speaking of money, I am broke.
Join the brokey club.
The best type of broke.
Oh, yeah.
I've spent so much money in the last 2 days. I got the stuff that we needed for the podcast. Paid a couple of bills. I paid for my part of the house that we about to be in for this trip. I paid my part of the rental car for the trip. Nigga, broke with a capital O.
The question is, can you afford a donut right now?
A donut? I can get a donut. A nigga can get a donut.
As long as you can get a donut.
Nigga get a donut.
Nigga get a donut.
Yeah, no, you know.
And I get fucked up.
And I don't have the normal payment schedule where I'm waiting for a Friday. I get paid Wednesday, so I'm good.
If you
it's just that
you went down to Lexington Market, right?
Mm-hmm. I can get a 4-piece.
Okay,
I get a 4-piece. Yeah. So I'm
you all right,
but nigga. It's just bittersweet because you see all that money sitting in your account.
I know.
And then because the way that my when you deposit, I don't know if this is everybody. I don't know if it's a specific account that I have. I don't know if it's a specific bank. Well, I know every bank don't work this way, but I don't know if every account in this bank works this way or if it's just a specific account that I have. But there's a hold on money that you deposit into the account. So I think for I could be wrong, but for my account, I think like if you deposit money, only $400 is available that first day, and then the rest clears by the next day. Now they say the next business day, but what I've established is no. I put the money in yesterday, and this morning when I opened my account, all the money was there. So, like, I guess they say that just so you won't be upset. Like they try to hedge their bets or whatever.
Probably.
But to see all that money in this particular account this morning, and then like an hour later, going back into that account, and then like,
Yeah, yo, I understand. I get it. I've been there. I get it. When you front load all that WAP in your account,
nigga,
and you get to look at the account, I got this much in this motherfucker. But you know, in the back of your head, there are things. This ain't just fuck you money. There's stuff that has to be things to be done with that shit.
Yeah. I still got two things to do. Still got two things to do. I felt like being able to look at some of the money for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So I still have one of two things to do. I haven't decided which one of the two I'm going to do because again, being able to look at the money just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer, man, you know? Just a little okay. All right. Yeah. Just that. Like, it's cool when you had the stuff, but I don't have the stuff yet. The trip is 2 weeks away.
That's
the other stuff, some of that got to ship.
Yeah.
Some of that other money was bills. That's stuff that I just see all the time because I have access to it, but it's bills. Right. So yeah, it feels in this moment like I just lost a bunch of money.
What must it feel like to not have that work? Like to say,
nigga.
I thought one time I thought that we were going to be in that situation immediately.
Right.
It turned out it was some capping going on. But I thought it was a time where I thought we had the budget. Got the budget. No, we got the budget. Right?
Mm-hmm. That's what it's supposed to have been.
From a client who told us who I was trying to be frugal. Right. Because I know I'm spending somebody else's money. Right.
And I believe the words were, if we need it, we getting it.
That's what the words we were told.
All right.
So I went, okay, we about to do big things. Wow. And then we had a meeting, and it was a box there. The box was opened. There was stuff in there.
Yeah, there were things.
Doohickeys. It maybe was like, I want to say 2 things there that I asked for that was on the list. Everything else was nothing we needed and definitely nothing we wanted.
No.
Because had this been done the way we, who are the experts at this, that were pulled into this, had it been done that way,
right,
that shit would have been lit.
Oh, different. Completely different.
Now, there was circumstances that caused some of it not to.
Sure.
But but to be frank, the other stuff was just
like the biggest thing was like, all right, we had this conversation. You was like, nah. If we gonna do it, we gonna. Oh, okay.
All
right.
Say less.
The moment that changed should have been the moment we found out.
Agreed.
And that's not what happened.
Yeah, we found out the wrong type. Like
a week before we were supposed to start. So
that should have actually been a red flag.
Yeah, it should have
been a red flag. But the issue is, I got love for them niggas.
Right.
I know at least 2 of them for decades. Right. So that and respect for what they do.
Yeah.
Right? What they have done. You know what I'm saying? So that is the reason why that in any other situation,
nigga. In any other situation, that would have been the end of the meeting.
That would have been the end of it. It's just like,
you think it's a game? We're done here.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Good day. I said good day.
Yeah, there's no way around it. All right, the next thing, nigga. So I had a photo shoot yesterday. So look, every single time
Every time? Not every time.
No, every time. But I stopped shooting for a while. And I shoot with a new model. It is Bittersweet. I both get reminded of why I missed doing it
and why you stopped.
And why I stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Now, it just depends on what happens, what percentage, what the ratio is.
Right.
This ratio started highly unfavorable. So she wants to start doing lingerie shoots, right? Not as in she wanted our first shoot to be lingerie, but that's something she wants to get into.
Yes.
I told her we should start with some bathing suit photos. There are a couple reasons why I never start off with someone with lingerie or nude photos, unless they are just paying me a bunch of like this is a client one time. Yeah. You give me the bag. Listen,
yeah, facts.
Customer's always right. But outside of that scenario, there are a couple reasons why it will never be my first photo shoot with somebody. Number one, I don't know you. I don't like being around people, especially when I have to worry about what their demeanor is, what their personality is. No need to potentially complicate that with the wild card of near nudity.
Facts.
There's no reason to complicate that. Ain't no rush for that.
I agree.
Number two, I don't know your hygiene habits.
See, stop. Let me stop you. I purposely, because it popped in my head because I'm ass, right?
Right.
I purposely restrained myself from making that joke because I didn't.
Nigga, it is what it is. No, nigga, listen. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now, again, to be clear, these aren't issues that popped up with.
No.
These are just the reasons why that's never my first shoot with somebody.
Right.
I don't know your hygiene habits. Doing bathing suit stuff where there's water allows me to be close enough to smell you, but there's enough space where if I need to create some distance, I can create some distance.
So hold on. Let me see if I need to get an understanding of what you're saying. You're saying that you need to know if you come in. You need to know if the model's coming in there smelling like farm hay.
Listen, my guy, here's the thing.
Because I don't think you need to have an understanding of they coming in there smelling like dirt.
Given what we are doing, it is probably illegal for them to be outside in the lingerie and in the nude and all that other shit. That's illegal. So we would have to be in an enclosed space. I'd rather find out how you prepare for something like that outside where I can get away from you if there's an issue.
Yo said, we tired of you showing up to these.
Listen, no, listen.
Showing up to these shoots smell like dead meat and shit.
I'm just saying. I'm simply saying. I'm simply making it like this. All right. Number 3. I don't know you. Yes, I said that already.
No,
it's
but
still
that
true.
has to be, that's still
it's still true.
Yeah.
Doing lingerie would require us to be in a secluded space, not on first meet. I'll pass.
Yeah.
I'm good on that. Number 4. I don't know what your comfort level with being photographed
that's very true.
And seeing yourself on camera is.
Very true.
The only time I have ever done lingerie / nude photos as the first shoot was the last time because it was annoying. None of the above issues happened.
Right.
No, none of the above issues. I actually knew this person, so it wasn't like I don't know you, right? The shoot itself went well.
Right.
The problem came after I finished with the edits. This girl damn near had a mental breakdown because, quote, I thought I looked like Beyonce. End quote. Now, wait, stop. Now, I'm not going to show you all the photos because she didn't like
them. No, don't do that. Don't do that.
To be clear, she didn't have an issue with the edit. She had an issue with how she looked on camera.
Yo.
And I won't show you other photos of her because I feel like that might undermine the next point that I'm about to make. This is not meant as disrespect at all.
Right.
Even if it starts to sound like it, I'm just emphasizing to make my point. There's no way in hell you thought you looked like Beyonce.
Yo, see this
and made it past 30 years of age.
Y'all capping.
And my taking a photo of you with my mirrorless camera is the thing that revealed it. That notion.
Nigga, what?
Again,
I'm not trying to. She probably was. I'm sure she's a attractive woman,
bro.
You know, stop capping. Yo.
Again,
I thought I was Denzel. Then I came up in there.
Again, this isn't disrespect. I personally think she's an attractive woman.
Attractive woman, yes.
I do.
Yes. All right.
But everyone in the world knows what Beyonce looks like. I'm not talking about better or worse.
No.
I'm talking about completely different.
What exactly?
I'm talking about different. That would be like somebody eating a grape and being upset afterwards because they thought it was a pineapple. It's just different things. Yo, and there's no way that you should have thought. That's hilarious.
Yo, listen. I came in there thinking I was Denzel. Turns out I was Owell.
Bruh. Like what are we talking about? Like, man, there is no way you legitimately.
That is cap, yo.
Something is wrong here.
Nah, B. I'm not jacking that.
So yeah.
Nah.
So the first thing, moving on to the actual shoot. The first thing I always ask models is if they have any professional photos. Bruh. First thing I always ask of models that I'm about to work with for the first time is if they have any other professional photos that they've taken. I asked to see hers. She asked to see some of my work. Bet. At this point, she's telling me the names of these photographers that she worked with. I don't know if she was trying to impress me or what, but let me be very clear about this. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, facts.
I don't know these motherfuckers, and I do not want to know them.
And you naming people that I don't even fucking know. How does that help your?
I think I talked about this on here before. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in that community that I'm just not down with.
Yeah, facts.
I don't want to be anywhere. I don't want to be related to it. I don't nope.
We were very self-contained. There was maybe on an occasion we would meet another photographer and then we have conversations with them about shop stuff. But it was never any collaborative. No, I don't. What do I need to collaborate? I got this nigga.
Right.
I'm not collaborating with
you. Nope. I'm good. I'm really good. So the next step was, where are we shooting? I told her about Cascade Falls. And I showed her examples of shoots that I've done there. I told her where it was, and she said, cool. That's a very important part. Keep that in mind. I showed her photos that I took there. I told her where it is, and she said, cool. All right. Next, she let me know that she has a disability. It's a physical one, and I'm not going to disclose exactly what it is, but it's one that won't really affect the way that I like to shoot. We just might have to take a few breaks here and there. No problem. That's cool. Not a problem. Right. She says she wants to get into cosplay. That's cool. Except we're going to have to get her to think outside the box a little bit more because the ones she mentioned wanting to do are super cliche. She talking about Velma and Ray.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, you gotta, come on. You got to think a little bit outside the box if we're going to do the cosplay.
Done to death.
Yeah, it's like, right. So we had to figure out when we were going to shoot. So earlier in our correspondence, before we got to that point, she had typed the words to me. I'm off Mondays and Fridays. Okay, so now when we get to this point where we're trying to figure out exactly when we're going to do the shoot, I asked if she was available this past Monday. She said, I have to work.
Okay.
But you told me you were off on Mondays and Fridays.
Oh, no, hold up. In her defense, some of these jobs be doing that. Hey, could you come in on your day?
Well, no. What happened is she alternates.
Oh,
She never said that part. Okay, slight miscommunication. Fine, whatever. So, we set a tentative date for Friday. There was something she had going on that may have prevented that from being possible, but she was hoping that it would be resolved by then. She told me Wednesday that it had been resolved. Thursday is when we finally locked in. All right, cool. So the day before, she asked me the location again. And I don't mean like, where is it? But do we know where we're shooting?
Huh?
Ma'am, we had this
We
conversation.
had that conversation already.
I showed you pictures and you confirmed that that would be okay. So, all right, whatever. No, whatever. Yeah. I just told it again. And she like, all right, cool. Then I sent her the actual link from Google Maps to the entrance of the park, as it is the closest entrance to the falls. Right. For those that don't understand, I'm talking about Patapsco State Park. Patapsco State Park is huge.
Yes, it is.
There are Patapsco State Park goes all throughout the city into the county.
Damn sure does.
It's huge.
Like I've gone through the woods in one area and ended up in the woods. Yeah.
It's vast. So she says, okay. When I sent her the actual Google Maps location,
actual factuals,
she said, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. The day comes. I tell her to meet me there at 3:30. She says, okay. Around 1:30, she texted me saying, quote, we will see you soon. Who the fuck is we?
Oh, yo,
wait. No, it's not as bad as it sounds. But to shut up. To express to the people, another reason I don't tend to like doing lingerie as a first shoot is you don't know me.
Right.
It's way too much going on in this world for women to be around dudes when they're half naked, sight previously unseen.
Oh, yeah.
So, for this reason, a lot of models will bring someone with them. And that part is perfectly fine in my book because that's do what you got to do to feel safe.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Except for the fact that would now be another person who I don't know that is in presence. That is the only issue I have with that. But this wasn't that, though.
Yeah.
She didn't have anyone to watch her son, so she brought him with her.
Right.
Oh, cool. No problem. At least not for me. Some people have issues.
Some people don't like that. Yeah, some people don't like that. But
I don't mind. That's not a problem for me. It will be in a little bit, though.
Keep going. I can hear you.
More on that in a little. She now decides to ask more specifically about the falls location. Mind you, the previous 2 times that we had talked about the location, she made it seem as if she understood exactly what was going on, which is why I didn't offer any more information because you seem like you got it. Also, this is not some little girl. Like, this is not some 22-year-old. No, she's in her 30s, lived in Baltimore her whole life. Like, okay. So I'm like, all right, cool, you got it. I had even seen, I think we met on Twitter. I even saw her tweet about being excited about the photo shoot she got planned, mentioning Patapsco State Park, and mentioning the fact that you got to pay to get in. So because of those things, I'm like, all right, cool. She should be good. She don't need me to give her no more information. I'm not going to give you no more information than you need. Not unless you give me an idea that you need more and I just misunderstood or something like that. So she now decides to ask more specifically about the location. I tell her I would meet her at the entrance and she could ride with me to the falls. Time out. Why would I suggest this? Y'all know I don't fucking like people. But I'm also not a heartless son of a bitch. I've been to this falls several times with several different people. I know the difficulties that are involved with getting to the falls. It's about a 5 to 10 minute drive from the entrance of the park that's closest to the falls to the parking lot that is at the bottom of the trail that leads to the falls. About 5 to 10 minute drive. So I've never even looked. I don't even know how much time that would take to walk, especially when you don't know where you're going exactly. There's also spotty service because you're in the middle of a national park. So at the entrance and slightly past the entrance inside of the park, then it's fine. No issue. But by the time you get to where the trail for the falls is, it's a little bit shaky, baby. I ain't gonna hold you. So she seemed to prefer, when I offered for her to meet me at the entrance, she seemed to prefer that she don't drive. She seemed to prefer to catch her Uber all the way to the falls. I said, "Are you sure?" She said, "Yes." Okay, so I sent her the location from Google Maps of the parking lot where the trail leads to the falls. Time passes. At this point, I'm now on my way. Now, the entrance is like 10 minutes from where I used to live. But from my current house, because of the way the damn city is shaped, it actually takes significantly longer to get there, and it doesn't require, but my best bet was taking the highway, especially with the time of the day it was. So I get to the highway. I'm on the highway for like 30 seconds. She calls my phone. So clearly I'm on the highway. There's nowhere for me to pull over. So I'm talking to her on the phone. She's like, the Uber has her God knows where. She barely has a signal. Now, mind you, I'm thinking she's at the parking lot. I'm thinking that she went where she was supposed to go. Right. I think she's at the parking lot and she just isn't familiar with the area. So she's like freaking out a little bit.
Right.
About 5 minutes into the conversation, she reveals that she's in front of some people's house.
What?
I tried to explain to her that she needs to go to the entrance of the park, but she looks up the address and she doesn't understand that when addresses have a hyphen in between the numbers, that's a range.
Yes.
That's a range. She's tried to put all the numbers into the GPS without the hyphen, which just creates another address, and that address existed, but it's somewhere in DC or something like that. So she like, no, now it's trying to send me to DC and blah, blah. I'm like,
jeez.
No, that's not. I'm like, all right, I'm almost off the highway. When I get off the highway, I'll try to find somewhere to pull over. Because I didn't realize how the exit, I've never gone there from this house. So I didn't realize that the exit was like right at the entrance. I didn't realize that. I thought it would still have a little bit of drive before I got to the entrance. But the exit was right in the entrance. So I got into the entrance and I pulled over right before the entrance. So by this time I get off, and between her and the Uber driver, neither one of them was patient enough for me to figure out what the issue was exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And she had gotten out of the Uber at this point in a strange area that you know nothing about with your child.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm like, all right, find out one of the addresses that's on the house, one of the houses. She gives me the address. Now I'm looking at it on maps and I see she's not that far from me. What up, Paul?
What up, Paul?
I'm saying she's not that far from me, and she's not that far from the falls. So I'm trying to find if there's a way that she can get to the falls from there, looking at the GPS. by the time I realized what's going on with that, and because the reason I'm doing this is because I'm the person in the situation that has full signal because I haven't gone into the park yet.
Right.
I had full signal.
Right.
Once I realized that there wasn't a quick and easy way for her to get there from where she was, I decided to just go grab her because it was only like a 7-minute ride from where I was. When I said this, she had already started walking.
Oh, jeez. So wait a minute, if this is a 7-minute drive, then how long is it for the walk?
Well, no, she wasn't walking to where I was.
Oh, she's walking to
the falls.
Yeah.
So, but she doesn't really know how to use a GPS. So she couldn't get back to where she was. She couldn't get back to the address that she told me.
Right.
Oh, also her phone was on 25%. So about 3 minutes later, our call disconnected. And I'm like, there's no way her phone died that quickly. Maybe,
right,
whatever. So I'm sitting there trying to think, like, what am I going to do? Talk about an attack on your conscience. So this woman is almost stranded in a completely unfamiliar wooded area. She barely has signal. Her phone is dying, and she has her son with her.
Yikes.
Not knowing what else to do, since she clearly doesn't listen. And I don't completely blame her for not listening, because she don't know me.
Right.
So
she got a kid with her.
Right. So I call her back. She's like, she's somewhere on the trail. So going to pick her up was out of the damn, it's not an option.
Right.
So
right.
She saw somebody on the trail. She asked them how to get to the falls. They gave her loose directions. So she's walking. She finally gets it on her GPS. It says it's a 30-minute walk. I'm like, okay. All right. So not knowing what else to do at that point, I drive to the parking lot of the falls.
Right.
I figured that was my best bet of running into her if what she was saying was right.
Yeah.
Hilarious, GA. So I drove down. There for a minute. I sat there for a minute because she said the GPS said the walk would be about 30 minutes. After a little while, I walk up, I get out the car and walk up the trail to the falls. Right. There is no sign of human life anywhere.
Damn it.
So I noticed one of the signs that's up says trail is closed. It had been a while since I've been there, so I'm going to cut ahead for this part. I forgot that sign is always up. That sign is always fucking up. But I forgot because it's been so long since I've been there. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, man, what the fuck is happening? So I go up to where the falls are. I don't go all the way over, but I go up. Again, I see nobody. So I come back down. I go sit in my car again. And this is a trail. So that's a hike. That's not that's not smooth walking. That's up hills and So I'm sitting in the car. I'm like, damn, man, like what should I do? Like, what?
Yeah.
And when I got to the point where I was like, I have no way of contacting her because I don't. I simply have no way. I was thinking, all right, I'm going to give it 15 more minutes. Mm-hmm. That trail ain't no bitch. I'm not going back up there again just to go back up there.
Right.
And as soon as I make that decision, I get a phone call. No, I get a text message. Text message. We here. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yo, it's always, I swear it's always it's always
okay. I'm like, where exactly are you? Are you at the falls? She was like, no, we by the bathroom. Because when she said she was in front of my house, I'm like, ain't no house. There's a bathroom.
Right.
So I was like, where exactly are you at? Are you at the falls? She was like, no, we're at the bathrooms. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I get out, walk over there. They over there. We walk up to the falls. Because of the lack of rain, the water level isn't as high as I was used to it being. But you still make it do what it do. We got in there, got some shots, the actual experience of the shooting was cool. I kind of figured from the photos that she sent me, she's not the most experienced, but that's not really an issue. I've dealt with that before. That's
right.
Whatever. So that part was all cool. Afterwards, it was like, okay, this was cool. This wasn't the disaster that it was seeming that it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
What did I just turn off? I just turned something off.
We can't tell.
Okay, cool. All right. So it wasn't a disaster that it seemed like it was going to be, but that beginning was rough.
That's rough as hell. It's rough as hell.
Nigga. But it ended up being a decent shoot. I told her she had some fucking homework because she is absolutely raw, like super raw talent. Like she modeling is not something it's really much.
Cameraman, yeah.
That's funny. Cameraman.
This nigga comes from the planet Cannon.
Hilarious. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and edit those at some point. I don't know if any. I'll ask her before I post any of them, because like I said, she raw, and I ain't going. Once I tell her and explain to her how raw she is, I don't know if she gonna want these posts.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, see, here's the thing, right? It's all about the time that you put in to the craft.
Yep.
How good you are. So this might be her first time trying to do it this type of shit.
Yeah.
She do a few more shoots. She might get it done.
Yeah, she told me she already had another one scheduled inside the studio, and all right, cool.
And then she look at some other people's work, right? See other people with their posing and all that. Oh, look at that shit and see what the fuck you can pick up from that.
Exactly how we got through this shoot. I would go on my phone. All right, try this pose.
Right.
Try this pose. See how it feels. I would give her pointers on how things work. Like, put your chin down. Put your shoulders back. Like little things like that. Like, remember, those apply to 90% of the poses that you're going to do. So just try to keep that in mind every time you try to do another pose. Is my chin down far enough? Are my shoulders back? Or is the posture the way it's supposed to be? It's a whole thing. Like anything else, you learn the rules so you know when to break them.
That's the thing, bro. That's the thing. Like she's gonna learn more in trying to fix fuck ups than she will anyway. Because I know that one we did for the boutique.
Yeah.
I know between the both of us, we had that shot about 1,500 to 2,000 pictures. And it was things that were not optimal at that shoot. So we then had to go and then take the footage that we had and edit that motherfucker. And in that, I learned so much more about post production on photography and shit like that from that one shoot than a host of the ones we may have had before that went all right.
Right.
Yeah.
1,000%. Yeah, the growth is in the failure.
Hey, yo, Gary said, how bad was it? Just awkward or melt your memory card bad?
No, just awkward. Just awkward. If it was that bad, I wouldn't even be thinking about shooting her again because listen, giving notes is one thing. I can't. There's certain things. This is going to sound much crazier than I mean it. But there's certain things.
You're about to say something that I probably said.
There's certain things I can't teach a woman about posing as a woman.
Right.
So, like, I ain't no teacher. I ain't no model teacher. I am a photographer who studied photography and studied different shoots and see what people gravitate towards. And I reverse engineer this shit, but I can't be the one to give you everything. And if you don't, and on top of that, remember she has that disability, so there are certain things that might be
she
more
physically can't do. Right.
So
I think it's one of these things where you have to have a base of knowledge of something that I might be good at it, very good at it, but the person still needs to have a base.
Yeah.
Because I can't. I learned that a long time ago. I can't start you from zero,
right,
and bring you up to. That's just not in my wheelhouse, right? So you got to have at least the basic understanding and the fundamentals, and then we can talk about the other things because you at least understand the terminology. You know, you can take direction because you understand the basic shit. Other than that, what the fuck you want from me? Like that means because some of this is on you. You have to do the work. If this is something that you are interested in and you want to do, then show me that. Because I can always tell what a motherfucker really is actually into by the amount of work they put in that shit.
Right.
You know, like how much time you put in, and also how long did you practice the shit after you put that time?
That's why I gave her ass homework. Hey, you need to practice this work on these
things. In the mirror.
Right. all that shit. Like the work on that, and we'll see where you get with that. And then we'll move on to the next part.
Right. Frank says, I have so much regret that the only photo that I have of my arms from the bodybuilding days was right after I woke up and with dim and flat lighting. Ooh. So I wish I got photographed by a pro. Yeah, Big Frank.
Bruh.
Yeah. Now, see, when I met Frank was he was already a big. Yo, it was ridiculous. Listen, I've seen a lot of big dudes, right? First time I saw Frank the only time in person that I saw Frank was at the show we did in Redmond, Washington. Frank a big motherfucker. I know how same shit I say about Big Mike. Mike is big, tall, and big. Frank is tall and bigger.
Right.
And so it was no surprise that he was a bouncer.
Right.
There's no surprise at all. Because if Frank grabbed you by your neck, you ain't got to go home. You get the fuck up out of there. Like you know, 6'6", 5'75". Look, I'm trying to tell you, if Frank grab you,
oh god,
there's no guarantee where you're gonna land if he's tossing your ass out there. There's no guarantee at all.
I don't know where you're going to end up, but I know where you're not going to be.
Yeah, I know you're not going to be here no more. Like you're not going to be here no more. Some motherfucking place.
Oh my god! But yeah, that was that the last thing? I think that was the last thing. Yeah,
that was the last thing. Yeah. So we want to thank all of you once again joining us for another rousing edition of the Black Culture Geeks podcast, Saturday morning cartoon block. Your continued participation allows us to continue to do what we do because it's just fun.
Yeah,
it's just fucking fun. Also, do not forget that my sister, his significant other, Chrissy, got the was that the first show after the that was the second show after the season started, right?
Yeah,
I've heard it through the Grapevine podcast.
I have to assume because they I think GA Beach. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's going to be another break this Monday, but they'll be back next Monday.
All right, cool. I mean, listen, sometimes people got to take breaks in this world.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. And when you do podcasts, you work for yourself. So
thanks.
you do the fuck you want.
Absolutely.
Also, don't forget about my guy, Super Side Guy, my other guy, Hendrix, and Metas and Mutants podcast. Make sure you check them out. And of course, there is always music. Always music. Also, Grade and Square has a new project that he's going to be releasing soon. He'll give you more information on that as it turns out. Once again, thank everybody for streaming The Blood of Zolokar. Appreciate that. Had good numbers this week. Don't forget my man GA. He's got music on Bandcamp. Gifted Anomaly. Go check him out as well. And yeah, I think that's it. So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.